Layla is her daughter.
Yes. I met her
so
daughter.
You've got Layla's kitchen, and Yasmin used to have Yasmin's granola. And they sort of overlap and merge, and they trade at our markets. You do stuff with them, don't you?
I did do actually one of our very first pop-ups we did with them. Yeah, and that was one of our worst ever pop-up experiences.
Really?
Yeah, we were marketed that we were going to get like 100 customers, like minimum, because of the building that it was in. And you got 16 spread amongst Layla's kitchen, ours, and also another Indian takeaway, basically, where she had made everything the night before. And she was like a big batch. Like, she does this for like... how do you say it? Like almost like a soup kitchen style.
Yeah.
So she knows how to cook. And then there was Layla's and there was me. And then we baked off like over 108 baked bao buns.
Yeah.
Sold like 3. We were like...
Oh, it's devastating, isn't it? It is devastating.
Yeah.
That's a pressure on anything. You do not know how many people are ever going to turn up at any point in time, do you? You just got to put it out to like the hope gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially though when it's like a corporate like catering almost, where like this market was working with the business to say, hey, we're bringing lunch in today.
Right.
Like Quorum Business Park, Cobalt Business Park, they give you quite honest numbers. And this business like building, it wasn't their like responsibility, it was the market's responsibility to communicate.
Yeah.
And we could reach out as much as we wanted to the actual building, but they were like, refer to your market person because they'll tell you what's best.
Yeah.
And was one of our rookie mistakes, I would say.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, so that's trader's worst nightmare. It's communication, but
all the time.
If you put anything in the hands of somebody else and you're not in control, you're going, oh, did they do it right?
Yeah.
Or have they marketed this thing right?
Yeah.
Have you done any social posts? It's all of these
That's
things which you
something
Was
think
it a new
look
thing
at.
as well, Phoebe? Was it a new event, or was it like a total one-off?
It was a sort of new event. They've done like markets before, and you could see that they were like, well, they seem well versed. They get major funding from a particular university as well in the area, and like basically what happened is they're actually like Forbes 30 under 30 and everything. It seemed really legit. And next thing you know, it's like, well, you've got like 5 people showing up, and one stall holder didn't even bother to come. Like it was across 2 days, I think, and they didn't bother coming.
We've had a couple of events like that where, because we do the markets as well.
Yeah.
We've done them for quite a long time.
Absolutely.
And there's been a few where we've been led by the venue, or we've done something that is new, and we've probably not done the due diligence that we should have done. And there's like maybe twice in 5 years.
Yeah.
Where you're thinking, this footfall's not here. And there's nothing more devastating than seeing a trader who's over-prepped, right, and seeing kind of 3 people wafting around.
It's a responsibility, isn't it?
It's a huge responsibility.
It's massive. And you don't want to let people down. You want it to be rammed all of the time.
Yes.
You want people going, it's busy, I can't keep up. That's a good thing. That's what you want it to be all of the time. And it's disappointing, isn't it, when it's not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a new world and new territory for me, but from Chris's experience, he's seen absolutely everything over the years. And if you think, it's a sunny day and all this kind of stuff, it doesn't really make a difference.
There's loads of things people always equate to a positive live outdoor event. The sun's out, it's not going to work. Why? People go to the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they'll go and do something else.
Yeah.
It's just that I'd like to say that there isn't a science to it. There is a slight science to it. In understanding where you're trading from, who you're trading with, what the sort of income is of that area, and whether they've got the disposable income to pay for things.
Absolutely.
They're all parts of the equation.
Yes.
But you just cannot factor in people's behaviour.
No.
And we've had events where they've been really successful because it rained, because people have come out with purpose and went, right,
we're going to this.
We're going to shop for an hour, then we're going to go home.
Yeah.
Or we've had events where it's been so hot and so sunny. I've had situations where traders were sitting in a circle with chairs, talking to each other like a
little,
sort of little
King Arthur's table there.
like a therapy session, because there was no customers at all, and they're sitting going, this is like a day off. This is nice, isn't it? But it's not quite what they expected, though. Yeah.
I think for traders, like a lot of people like go into it thinking this is just the place to sell. We're gonna make our buck and then leave, and it's actually not really that. You're also building a community there
100%.
as well. And even market organizers, I've talked to so many, because I'm like, everyone's on your side. No one should be against each other, really, and no one should be blaming you for the weather.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've spoken to one of the ones that we work with very consistently, and she was like, sometimes like if the weather forecast is kind of like gloomy, she gets feels a bit defeated because traders come for her. They'll be like, oh well, we expected this, you told us this, and they're like, she's like, no, actually I'm very honest in every single one of my emails, and I actually allow you guys to close up early if we know that the weather's going to be bad. I'm not making you guys stay for nothing, because running gas will already cost you a bunch just in an hour, and everything. So it's seeing both sides.
It's really hard though, because we try to be pro trader. It's easy to look at an event, right? You can look at an event and think that was really successful because the customers looked like they had a good time. But I remember I went to an event about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was beautiful, it looked lovely, and there was street food around the parameters, and there was, I always say, bales of hay. I say hails of bay.
Hails of bay.
Bales of hay, right, sitting around for everybody to sit on. There was music, but the traders, the produce traders, not the hot food traders, they were like, it's dead. There's the people just walking around looking at what we sell, but nobody's buying anything because they've come here to drink cider and listen to the music. And, it's easy to look at that because it was busy and it was full, and the customers were happy, but the traders didn't have a good time. So it's trying to find the balance of both worlds. That's the hard thing to get right.
It's just devastating though, because you could actually lose money in a day, and if you'd made and prepped, what happens to all of that food as well? Yeah,
so like I think you have to find either enough people who want to eat it straight away. So you have a bunch of friends who are ready to take all
messaging your friends. I've got some spares.
Pretty much, But what was it? We actually, a lot of people ask what we do about our leftover cookies and whatsoever. So our cookies, they can last like quite a while, and I usually end up eating all of them at the end of the Sunday because we're not open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. I'm just, you guys are lucky I'm sharing today for my week's worth.
Phoebe, have you got any left? No, we haven't got any left.
I really do tell that. People are like, they try and ask us, oh, can you get on Too Good To Go? Can you get on these like platforms that give you a like way to reduce your waste? And I'm like, I am the waste reducer. I eat all of our stuff. If it's not Henley, if it's not Philip, it's me.
You watch later on, Phoebe, let go of the box.
Oh, no, let go of the box. Prizing out your hands there, we're just peeling a finger off one after the next.
Absolutely. But fun fact, I used to be a produce trader. I was in Canada and I sold Asian vegetables. I sold bok choy that we sold. Lots of pumpkins.
So how did that start? So you mentioned earlier that did you say you're American?
I'm American, yes.
Right, so
you don't offend.
I was going to say Canada's
Canada.
So I sort of tread lightly. So tell me the backstory.
New Zealand, Australia, isn't it? So kind of.
They don't want to be associated.
You're from Canada, America.
Both-ish, So I was born and raised in LA. So city girl, born and raised the suburbans. You see those coming of age movies that are in like American television. That is exactly the environment I grew up in. Parents are immigrant parents. They went there, but I was born and raised.
Where were your parents from?
Parents are from China, separate ends.
What was their kind of, what did they set up? Did they go there and trade? Did they go there and set a shop? What was their thing?
Yeah, so I think my dad moved over because my grandma was already there. She was working, I think, house to house as like a maid, I would say, and just helping out, cleaning out and everything. But it gave her kids the opportunity to do education in the States. I think one of my aunts decided to go there and study, while my dad actually ended up just staying in China, like working and doing more university degrees, I guess. But we never really know what he graduated in because there was no use that he put his degree in. So we always like laughed that it was a bit of a joke there. But he was from Xinjiang, so we're near towards the Middle East part of China, above like Nepal, Tibet, that kind of area. So he had a lot of like that kind of influence in his cuisines, and that played into my childhood a lot. We would have lamb skewer barbecues. Like we actually ate naan more than we ate noodles or rice.
Really?
And if it was with my dad, with my mom, she's from the south of China. She loves her rice. She needs her seafood. all the strong flavors. That was their kind of cuisine background.
It's a good balance, though, isn't it? You know, Dad does that, and then Mom does that.
They never agreed eating, though.
Really?
They never did.
No. So tell me more about that cuisine, your dad's.
Yes.
Tell me more about that, because that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because in the UK, we've got a very obvious perception of Chinese food.
Yes.
But just such a massive geography of China. I have travelled in China as well. I've worked in China. And the food is so different. You could go, 6 miles in one direction and the food will be different.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
The changes, the cultural changes as you go around.
Absolutely. So they would say like north is more noodles, bread, and wheat based. Down south is more rice and light soup, even that kind of style. Mm-hmm. So towards where my dad's from, he was from Xinjiang, which has actually the largest Uyghur population, and it's basically like Chinese Islamic cuisine. That's what they would call it as. It is, I think, the category it would fall under, and it's lots of lamb. It's lots of like, I think I would even say tandoori oven style cooking, where it's like they've got that underground pit. They've got that underground pit that they'll use to roast their meats, their breads, everything.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm drooling.
Perfect. This is my world. I love that.
It is honestly the best thing ever. Yeah, and I kind of grew up basically just kind of learning about that. I haven't even visited his hometown. I would love to, but it's incredible how different it is from your classic dumplings, your classic noodle dishes, fried rice. Those actually came more towards the implementation of an easier cooking style when people immigrated to the States, to the UK, to all around the world really now. There's pretty much a Chinatown everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. So what did your dad? What was he doing when he came over? Was he obviously training to be like a rocket scientist, and now he's in the kitchen? Was it that kind of thing? Just kind of.
So there's like a really big difference sometimes, especially based on education level, where people get placed in career wise. For him, he actually ended up just doing lorry driving, even though he had like certain like degrees in, let's say, language and whatsoever. Like I said, he never really used it, and he actually ended up liking doing lorry driving more because it was quite flexible with his time and hours, and it plays into a little bit of that work-life balance concept, which you actually don't see commonly in many immigrant Asian households back home in the States, at least. They are very gung-ho, as what it would be called, very work hard, let's say 12 hours a day, hustle culture. But for my dad, it was maybe one long distance trip every two times a month, let's say. But most of them are short distance. And LA Port and Long Beach Port is one of the busiest West Coast ports for all imports and exports. And that relates to what my mom did. So my mom was in customs clearance. So she was a customs house broker, and she basically, what they are is almost like a freight kind of like paperwork company where they make sure all your duty is paid, all your all your finances.
It's a complicated job.
It is quite complicated. It's a very small part out of a big logistics chain. And that's how I grew up, basically, with my parents in the logistics industry. They almost had nothing to do with food, I would say. Do you guys want me to silence that just in case?
Oh yeah, you can do.
Just the silence.
Maybe your mom or your dad kind of picking it.
My mom was texting me this morning, actually. She was like, what are you doing up this late? And I was like, it's 8 a.m. I think I'm supposed to be up. She goes, oh, you're never usually up that early. So
that's what she said.
I was a bit confused.
Oh, we got you up early for today.
I got up early for today. I kind of had a few things in the morning to settle, and some reels to edit, because I do our own media for our business. So it just means if I slept early last night, I have to get up early in the morning to kind of make up for that.
Yeah, that's it. It's like two jobs, isn't it?
I just went from my parents' vocation to my vocation. But that's kind of my parents' background. They kind of were in logistics, but they both really loved food as a basis of their backgrounds. So it naturally played into our dinner table.
Okay. So how did you come to the UK then?
So very, very long-ish story. It was about 5-6 years ago. I got the opportunity to play with the university for football, and football was actually going to be my career path.
Really?
Yeah.
So as in football.
Soccer.
I was going to say soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer football. Okay.
I was at border control. They made me make sure I said it the right way. They were like, "What are you here for?" And I was like, "Soccer." And they were like, "Come again?" And I was like, "Soccer, like this one." And they're like, no, say it correctly. And I was like, oh.
The problem is, anybody with an American accent says football, we automatically think they're talking about American football. We're so used to you having to say soccer. It's like one of those. That's why we have to double confirm what this means.
Just to verify we're talking about the right one.
Is it the round ball?
Yeah,
football?
the round one. The patches one. Yeah,
the kicky one. The
kicky one.
How many karaoke can you do?
Yeah, so that one, that's what I came here for.
I'm intrigued already, though.
Yeah.
How did you start playing? When did you start playing football?
I'm like going LA to UK football, lorry driving, China. I'm like,
wasn't David Beckham managed the LA
Galaxy.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
He
did.
bought
I
it,
think
didn't he?
Zlatan played there too at some point. Yeah.
So how did you start playing football?
So I
don't say you know David Beckham, do you?
No, it was because I was overweight as a kid.
Okay.
I was about 10 years old, and doctor was like, "Look, this kid, she's got to lose some weight, otherwise it will probably get into an unhealthy level." And so we were like, "Okay, we'll go put her through some exercise." Both my parents knew nothing about football.
I'll say they weren't like active people, and
they were not. They did not know what they were putting me through.
Okay.
And so our neighbor, she was a huge football fanatic, and she was like, "Come play with my daughter and I'll be the coach, I'm opening a new team in a recreational football team." And this is very American, it's called ASO, and all the kids around 6 to 10 are playing in this little leagues, you could say. And I was 10, never played before in my life, and they were like, "Right, great, stick you in the goal because we're not going to put you to run."
Always,
come on.
The goalie, exactly. And I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing." And then, but my very first coach did not end up being my neighbor. It was random selection. I got placed with a Mexican military sergeant and ex-military sergeant.
This sounds like a movie already.
I was 10 years old.
Everything you're saying, I've got to paint a picture.
I can see
this is actually, I'm building stories in my head as this goes on. I'm intrigued. So what's this fella like then?
This guy was like, "You, big girl, and Seat Lally, other big girl. Right, you two run 10 extra laps, and the other, you only need to run 4." And me, Seat Lally were like, "What are we doing?" This is my first time ever entering in football, and I was putting in through military training. I was
you were like, "I was coming for football. It's not Top Gun."
I know. I was just here to kick around and see what's on, and I was so scared, but also I was quite obedient. I was a really good, really obedient child. So I was like, "Okay, I guess we're running 10 laps." Linked arms with her, and we both just dragged each other through the 10 laps, and then next thing you know, I qualified to play on field as well, so I graduated from goalkeeping to the field.
Yeah.
And then so that's where it kind of started. I went home crying to my mom. "I'm scared. I have to run extra. Yeah. I don't like it.
I don't want to be a goalkeeper."
Yeah. And my mom was like, "Quit. Don't let them treat you that bad." Yeah. And I thought about it, and I was like, "But it's not really bad. The guy actually cares about your health too. Yeah. He actually is nice if you get injured, and he lets you sit aside, talks to you." As a 10-year-old, I was comprehending what was good for me, and I ended up loving football after that, because after a few wins it gets addicting.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
I was thinking the same thing yesterday. Well, it's something that you love. That was it. Because my son's been away on a residential, and he's had a bit of a hit and miss time with being on residentials, when you go and you do canoeing, you do climbing, you do all of these things.
Yeah.
So we give him a spare phone to go. I just check in to see how it's going. And on Saturday night it was 4 out of 10. So 4 out of 10 ain't good, right?
Yeah.
No.
So he's having a bad time.
Yeah.
So we're going, right, okay, what's he doing? What's good? What's bad? And all this kind of stuff. And then the next day, he's just about to get in the bus, and he's like, it's a 7 out of 10. So whatever he'd been doing on the morning was actually elevated this thing up 3 points, you know what I mean, to the 7 out of 10. I thought, right, okay, as long as he's enjoyed something along the way. And we had a conversation about, you have to do bad things, uncomfortable things, to kind of enjoy something that you find you want to do as well, but you have to go through the bad to get to the good. And also then I brought up the fact that people run 100 miles, they're not absolutely loving it and go, yeah, I've got to run 100 miles to go on. I'm going to put myself through this awful event because I love to put myself through this awful event, and it's difficult and it's a challenge, but you get some reward from it at the end.
Absolutely.
It's very much like that, and it sounds like you're kind of there. I don't really want to do it, but I do, and there's a good intent in what this guy's trying to teach me as well. So it sounds like
wouldn't happen now, would it?
So
do you think that would happen now? It wouldn't happen in a UK school situation now.
Do you not think so?
No, I don't think. I think there's a fear from teachers to push kids in that way.
Yes.
So I had a similar experience. So when I was a kid, I've always struggled with my weight. And when I was about 14, I was probably about 4 stone overweight. And we used to have to do cross country.
Oh, it's awful. I hate the cross country, yeah.
So we do cross country, and it was one of those things, you'd be going to PE, but you didn't know you were doing it. And you were thinking, it's all right, we've got football today. Then you always got lined up in the hall in a certain way, and you'd think, oh shit, it's cross country. You know, tight shorts and that. You know those horrible shorts you used to get? It was tighter on the top of your legs. And I had a teacher, we had to come out to school and do 2 laps this huge park, right? And then go off into the sort of wider community. It was cross country. It was, urban version of cross country. But it was a good, hour and a half run, right? And I always remember this teacher, his nickname was Whiplash.
Oh my goodness.
He was called Mr. Williams, right? Yeah. And he'd lost his hair, but he had one really thick strand left, which, just cut it off, man. So Williams cut it off.
At that point.
Right? But he left it. It was about this long, so the wind used to blow and his hair would wave like that. And he used to go, it's Whiplash. But he used to kick me, right? I know.
No,
right? But I went through the same process you went through, because he used to kick me and go, come on, Spedding. That wasn't even my name, right? So he forgot my name. He was calling me a child's name from about 10 years ago, and he would kick me and get us to run quicker. And then within a year, I loved running. I lost a lot of weight. I started running, doing relays. I was doing 100 meters, and I enjoyed it. And I kind of look back now and I think it felt really damaging at the time. But actually, if he hadn't have done that, I got so much resilience out of that, out of the way he approached trying to motivate me in that situation. But if my kids came home from school and said, teacher was kicking me today, you'd be straight to school, wouldn't you? You'd be like, what?
But he'd be fired in a week. That's
I know.
I mean, the thing is, you don't have to kick somebody, and you don't have to obviously, undermine people. But there's a motivational in between where you go, come on, guys, let's move. Do you know what I mean? It's getting them motivated to do the thing, because nobody wants to run cross country. Because all you're thinking about is what time am I going to get a stitch in this thing? You got a stitch all the time as a kid, didn't you?
Remember first lap? Oh no!
I've got a stitch now. I've got to do this all the way around.
Sticking your thumb in your side.
Stick your thumb in your side. So.
I had this mental convincing that if I took 2 steps and then breathed, it would take the stitch away.
Okay.
Yeah. It was left foot first as well. So you had to go dun 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 dun.
Oh, you're timing your breathing. Yeah, because there's nothing else to do. You haven't got earbuds in, have you? Your soundtrack is your breath.
Yeah, exactly.
The footsteps.
Yeah, it was.
It was awful. I hated running. I couldn't stand it.
Did you hate it for the rest of your life as well? Because I got right into it and I loved it.
But the thing is, I train now and I train really hard, and nobody goes, right, I think I'll kill myself for 40 minutes and this is going to be horrific, and I'm going to be doubled over in the corner trying to lean on a fan to blow cold air on my face. You wouldn't do it if that's kind of what. If somebody wrote it down, go, you're going to do that, you'd be like, I'm not doing that. You're kidding me, aren't you? But you do it because there's a reward and there's a benefit from it. You get fit, you feel much better. The endorphins are there. Plus, you're getting something. You're kind of gaining something from it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it sounds like you've done the same thing. This guy, all right, well, it's a bit tough, but let's just keep going with it.
Yeah.
Because the intent is there, isn't it? So yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it? It really is. It's getting that balance of child trauma
Yeah.
versus getting them a bit more fit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say that was the unintended benefit that, well, the doctors were asking for me. But personally, as a kid, you don't really think, okay, well, I need to lose 13 pounds in this X amount of time for my doctor. It's more of, oh, this is another fun thing hopefully I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like the first match I ever had, I saved the ball as a goalkeeper by the ball hitting my face and then landing it in my hand.
Doesn't matter which way you save the ball.
A win's a win. A win's a win.
Yeah. You're like, the sun's shining on me today.
I know.
Hit me in the face, caught it in my hands.
They were like, go Phoebe! And I was like bleeding and going... But that was so like rewarding as a feeling, as a, you did something good, you made something impactful, and it was like, to a 10-year-old, you're like, this is it, this is my whole future at that point. And so like that's how my football obsession came about. I started to play more, and my city was very academic. None of my neighbors were like, go play, make yourself a living out of playing football. But it is an American standard still. Like everyone was talking about scouts showing up to your matches, going to this school to get more exposure. So that's the very American perspective. Even till now, the sports like focus is really intense. And so like that's where I ended up here in the UK. I was like, look, I'm going to the land of football. That's where it is most well known for. And so skipped everything back home, NCAA, whatever it was, that would, D1 schools, that's what they'll call it, and went straight to the originality, because I was like, might as well, And there was a few football academies around here that was recruiting across the pond and going, check it out here. And so they were like, also, as a plus to please your Asian parents who care about academics, there you can align yourself with a university as well, so double whammy. You can play football and you can do academics,
pleasing everybody.
Yes, exactly.
It's mad though that journey happened because you were overweight, soccer, next door neighbour, then university, doing football, academy. This kind of it's mad how life kind of works out, isn't it?
I know. And
now you're here doing something completely different, not related to that.
Well, people ask me why, like, why am I here? And I'm like, basically, I run this bakery because I loved eating, and I ended up really just baking and eating more than I ran. So we were here, we opened a little, Asian fusion cookie shop, and it basically was like, then they all laughed. They're like, oh, like, that's so good for you though. You're following your business degree. You're doing what you dreamed of almost in baking cookies and whatsoever. And I'm like, well, it wasn't really the total dream. It just happened that way. And then like full circle moment, I'm actually playing in a football team now. Really? So we're back to running. We're back, not as fast as before, but we're back to running.
The running cookie balance.
Something has to balance those cookies. Something does.
So where did you end up then? When you said you went to an academy, where did you go? Where were you?
So it's called I2I Academy, and basically like they focus on like international, outside of UK people to come in and play within certain universities. They'll partner with, I think they partnered with Northumbria, which is where I went. They partnered with Teesside now, but their very first one was York St. John. When I went to York, it was really cool at first because you dreamed, as an American, you see Harry Potter and you're like, whoa,
cobbled streets and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Castles and walls.
It was like straight out of the movie, and I was like, yes, this is it. This is Harry Potter. I'm here. And then you spend a few days and you're like, okay, well, it's just training and eating and eating and training, but you can't even eat the way you want. It's more of like, they give you a buffet, yes, but you're watching what you eat because you got to be prepared in about an hour. You've got a full-on training session. So that was like the camps that I went to try and expose myself to the UK football culture. And these are ex-PL players. They're ex-CL players even. I know some that came off of Manchester United, some that came off of like, big names. And then as like a aspiring footballer, you're like, you look to these coaches and you're like, this is it, they're gonna make me get scouted, I'm gonna play for a club team. That's like insane. And so that's how I was found in a way. Like I was doing well actually already competitively in my local Southern Californian like league, as a goalkeeper actually. Really? As a goalkeeper, I was just making that many saves, but also that's just how much times I was getting battered.
You're just standing there with your eyes shut.
You must have enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it at all?
I did.
No, Oh, really?
I did. Like, at first, I was a bit like, my league stats are only coming out because of how much we were getting battered.
Yeah.
Like, how our team was quite small. We weren't exactly like a winning team in our city, but it was just the number of shots that kept coming that I kept managing to save that got me the notice, I think.
Yeah.
And they thought I was a guy at first for some reason. They were like, "Oh, welcome to our like, our men's camp." And I was like, "Oh, by the way, do you guys know that I'm a girl? Like, I'm female?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, you guys are welcome too." And I was like, "Okay." And so they started to build a women's football academy as well with that. But prior to this, it was just like me, 4 girls in total, and then like 28 guys, and we were all just like heavy to try and like compete against each other to get noticed in a way by these really cool coaches. But yeah, that's kind of like how the academy was. Like, it wasn't like a Manchester women's academy or anything.
How long ago was this, Phoebe?
This was like, I think like 2016, 2017.
Okay.
So
look at how quickly women's football's grown now.
It has. Yeah. American women's football has always been very popular, but now here in the UK, since the Super League, what was it?
Pretty much the last World Cup, because they started to air them on TV.
The Lionesses.
And I think it was the Lionesses, and then they kind of...
You got one of them is from here.
Winning as well.
Actually.
Absolutely.
It's that, but it's obviously, it has taken a lot of time, but I don't know, it's so embedded in our culture.
Yeah, what did you think when you got to the Northeast and you saw kind of... Actually, well, you wouldn't have came here when both teams were in the Premier League and everything.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah. It's a competitive space, and it's a very, very noisy place around football.
I love
obviously
it.
seen that.
Yeah.
I've been in the stadiums where like it's not the same feeling you get. I've been to an LAFC game when it was first like I guess kind of playing.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if they won or not, but I remember it wasn't as like, it was still a really good crowd, but the energy here for the Premier League, I think it was Manchester playing against Newcastle United, and I was just there, and I was like ingrained thinking that all Asians need to love Manchester United. It's like a Hong Kong Chinese thing.
I want to say, that, didn't they?
Yeah, they really ingrained it in you. Like, my mom, who knew nothing about football, was like, "No, Manchester United is our team," and I was like, "Okay, I guess so." Like, I don't really have like an affiliation now with it, but I was the only one screaming in a crowd of like magpies going, "I love you, David De Gea," and he turned around and gave me a thumbs up. And everyone just
the goalkeeper again.
Yes, absolutely. I was like, oh, I really asked for that one. But the energy, the crowd is just different. And it's the same, I think, across all the things they care about here.
Yeah.
I think the Northeast is very passionate. Like,
it's very tribal, isn't it?
It's very tribal.
Very tribal, yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to try and go to a derby game when they happen.
Absolutely. I would love to.
But stick around after. It depends on which town. That's when you see the real truth comes out. Is when it all goes wrong.
Because it was about the same time that Sunderland were relegated, I think.
Oh,
The time you came to the Northeast would have been about that time. And it has a big impact on both cities.
Yes.
It'll be interesting for you to witness that then.
Oh yeah.
Well,
so you're going from that to obviously what you're doing now. When was that transition? When did you go, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to do this? When was that?
Yeah, well, COVID hit, and it was like 2020.
Okay.
And there was literally nothing to do. When I say nothing to do, I chose to eat more than I ran. A lot of people would say during COVID was their lockdown time. They really actually like geared in their inner, I don't know, Marvel character, I would say, and then went, right, I'm gonna just work out, and that was my business partner. So for me, though, I ended up cooking a lot in my kitchen, and it was COVID, and previously to this, I lived with the footballers, and so you're talking about 24 like guys who play 24 hours almost, and then 3 other girls who also almost have a similar diet. So I used to cook for everyone. I had this big pot, and then I don't know if you've seen those like Chinese like steamer baskets, the big ones where there's a big boiler, and then you've got 3 layers on top there. I used to steam chicken for people, chicken breasts all the time, and then underneath would be all the chicken juices that I would make chicken noodle soup with, because actually most of them were American, so they loved their chicken noodle soup. And I was like, right, so they would come up, they'd be like, "Phoebe, can you cook our like our chicken?" And I'm like, "You can cook it yourself." And they're like, yeah, but you cook it good. And I was like, okay, fine, you know, I'll cook the chicken. But you buy your own. I'm not buying it for you. And then so everyone bring up their little, like, you know, Tesco's. We were above Tesco's Gateshead.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
on Trinity Square.
Yeah.
And everyone just go downstairs at 24-hour, bring it up. And by 9 p.m., we're all, like, consuming tons and tons of chicken.
Yeah.
And so that's where the cooking for people began.
No way.
And it was, like, insane amounts. Like, it's for 20-so people. And when I started to live alone the year after, I was cooking 20 people's portion for myself because that was like the muscle memory.
Yes,
you
of
just
course.
cook that amount and you cook, and you're like, oh, well, I have all this now. And it's also COVID. No one can come over. Yeah. And I was like, well, can I sell this? Can I give it to my friends? And there was only so much my friends could eat before they were out of town or they had their own food. They were on a diet. And I'm like, oh gosh, not the diet, please. And I ended up eating every single bit because I don't like wasting.
Yeah.
And the freezer that we had in those student accommodations are this big.
Yeah, box freezer.
It's like that big and like that long. And I'm like, I can't freeze much of this. So I'm eating like tons of noodles that I've made. Also adding on top of, I really liked eating takeaway as well. Yeah. So there would be a kebab hanging around somewhere as well too.
Some fusion food going on here.
I know. I would chop it up and then like the lamb kebab that they would shave off those big shawarma pits. I would suddenly get like that mixed with some Chinese noodles. And so I would come up with these crazy fusion dishes. And then like, that's the whole basis of my personality, really. I love fusion. I'm American, so I love my salt, sugar, grease, cheese. I love it. Yeah. And then the Asian part of me is like, yeah, but like, you know, you got to get the sesame in there, got to get the scallions, and then like, you know, I love a good barbecue, but I also love a good soup. So I'd find different ways. And then next thing you know, I'm cooking up a storm in my kitchen during COVID. Yeah. And like, that's how I ended up cooking from football. Like, I just stopped running because the more you ate, the more you're like, we're okay. We can run tomorrow. That tomorrow becomes another tomorrow. And then next thing you know, you're like, yeah, I'll just eat. That's it. That's great. This is good.
Yeah, you need a Mexican coach in the corner, don't you? That's what you're showing out.
He's always in the corner.
I was thinking about the walking pads, you know, like just walk while you're cooking in a way, you know, double it. And it's still suggested to me on my Instagram algorithm now. It's like, oh, you need to do walking, you know, get your 10,000 steps a day. And I'm like, I definitely don't hit that, but we love eating. We eat 10,000 bites a day.
You know, you should do. You know, like you need a
trader's treadmill.
Like a travelator floor. Do you know what I mean? That just goes around like this, so you just walk around all the time.
Just underneath your gazebo all the time.
Just in the kitchen, so you're always walking in the kitchen. So even when you stand and you press, and then it'll go that way, so you walk.
You must do a lot of steps though.
Yeah.
When you
back and forth,
if you're working,
I've never really counted, and I've never really had a Fitbit watch either to really track it. But I assume if you're cooking, you're standing, you're prepping, and then we do a lot of market pop-ups too. So you have to, you know, carry the heavy goods, and then you have to walk around, talk to customers. Like, I don't sit during my market stalls. Rarely I do that.
Yeah, you're on your feet all the time, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of work involved.
Well, when we do the market from here.
Yeah,
I'll do about 15,000 steps just walking around,
checking out, bringing things in, helping people out, and it's
a
long
just
day
back and forward, back and forward.
Because you're starting early. Plus, you've got to prep, so you're doing like another 2 hours before you actually get to the market as well, aren't you? And then you're taking all the stuff back. Yeah, and it's like full on, isn't it? Yeah, it is full on.
Was it an obvious leap for you though when you were making mass portions of food from home? Was it an obvious thing to go, all right, okay, there's a business here? Did it just click?
Almost.
Or did it take a while?
It was always like, I was always quite business savvy, almost, you could say. I wouldn't say that I know all the, how do you say, the vocabulary that is in a business degree. My business partner is more well-versed with that and more clear on that. But for me, like in my heart, I was always like, right, I always want to share the food that I like to eat, but I can't share it if I don't have the money to pay for it. And I was like, okay, well, it needs to make sense. So if you give me the money, I cook, and then I distribute, that kind of makes sense, that cycle. And then, so within the first year of being in uni, I was like, okay, well, how can I be at the Christmas market stall? Like, I really wanted to sell my dad's lamb skewers because I saw none of that here. And I was like, I need something like that. And I was like, but if I get it at the amount I want, I need to sell it too, just to even it out, because I can't eat all of it. And so that was like the business part of me that was always like thinking about what to do about everything that I had. And then so for the whole years that I was here, since I was in uni, I was like, how do I run a business here? And so I would look to the school's like business incubator. I would attend these like summits where it's like, oh, try and present a product and then try and like, you know, sell it and win a prize, basically first place, second place, third place for it. And I would say I was decently good at it, but it never got me anywhere because I was like, oh, come up with something that is now sustainable for the planet. And it's like, okay, well, I found an engineer a water cup, let's say, that does that. And it would never be something that I was actually capable to do because I didn't either have the engineering like background for it or the actual deep dive interest in it. My deep dive interest was in food because that was my whole, I love it. I love food. And so I was like, okay, well, let me try and sell for my dorm. I was trying to like, because my friends were doing it too. Like there was a Brazilian girl that is still like, she's still here today. She doesn't sell these anymore, but she used to do brigadeiros, the fudgy chocolate, balls made with condensed milk, cocoa powder. And I was like, she was like, yeah, I'm selling these 15 pounds for, I think, a box of 6. And I was like, you're making a lot of money there. And she was like, yeah, but people buy it because people want to eat something that they don't want to either make themselves. And in my head, I was like, well, I can actually be asked to make all of these. That's why I won't pay for it. But there are people out there who just want to have an experience, who just want to eat some good food, and whether they have the confidence or not to make it themselves, you're there at the right person, right time, and you care about what you provide. It's a match made. Yeah. And I guess that was the business savvy part of me that was like, look, there's a difference between running a business and running a charity and also running a friend's dinner potluck. There's a big difference between all of those, and you have to have it very clear with your goals. And for me, I was like, right, football for my career, probably not gonna happen unless I magically, wake up like Cristiano Ronaldo, like all of a sudden. And that football career was like, look, it'll be nice on the side, adrenaline release, get those endorphins. But food, if I love it, use it, speak about it, talk about it, and use it to make friends, use it to love yourself, use it for literally everything. Feed people if they need to be fed. You get people who come in and try and get some freebies, and to be honest, you give it to them sometimes because it's like, look, at the end of the day, if you're hungry, you eat. That's a very basic human necessity. Okay. And so that's where the serious part of it came in, and I was like, right, this is going to be my future. Food is always going to be my future. I've had hate and love relationships with it before, but also I know now I love it. And that's where my path is now. That's how I decided for the rest of my life, I'll be in food in some sort of way or whatsoever. It's quite like clear. Like, when you're 10 years old I was 12 years old when I had my first business, and I bought cake mix and I made a cupcake like about this big and tried to sell it to my friends. But I ended up paying them to try it. I was like, I'll give you a penny to eat my cupcake and tell me what it tastes like.
It's like lemonade stalls, isn't it? Yeah, they usually do like lemonade stalls outside the house. But I think a lot in this country, it used to be like a tuck shop, but kids used to sell buy a multi-bag and then you sell the Mars bar multi-bag. So you divide them up, but you're not allowed to do that anymore.
No. Not for resale.
Yeah, not for resale. Individually wrapped, not for resale. But you still get kids that are hustlers.
But you still do, but I like that though. But it's it teaches you entrepreneurship, but also how do I find money? If somebody's there to buy it, why won't I sell it? And I think it's just it's a necessity that you go, well, they want to eat something and they like these, why don't I make more and sell them? It's a no-brainer, isn't it? So,
especially if other people like it as well. Yeah, and that was with our Taiwanese fried chicken. Like, saw nobody here that did it, and I was like, well, I'm craving it. And a lot of people I know are craving it, so I can make a batch, and you guys like it, share it with you, see what you think. Oh, everyone likes it. And that was our very first stall. We sold just Taiwanese fried chicken, and then vegans came along. They were like, I need something too. And I was like, you know what? Tofu. And then so we did Taiwanese fried tofu. Not the stinky one, unfortunately. That one's really good, but people here won't take it well yet.
Tell me about the stinky one.
The stinky one. So that one's like a stinky fermented tofu. Okay. So it's very classic Taiwanese and also South Chinese, as well as in Southeast Asian countries as well. But many people have different ways to ferment it, but it's essentially like a tofu that is like, I think, sort of rinsed with some sort of like yeast of some sorts. I want to say it could be red, it could be black, it could be just like a white furry one, almost like the way brie cheese has that mold on the outside. And so it grows a mold, and then sometimes it becomes stinky, but it's like...
But it gets, I guess it gets flavour into the tofu.
Umami punch.
I say blue cheese in it, because that stinks, and that's mouldy. Like that.
It's so good.
Like your basic distillation of cheesemongery there, was it?
Blue cheese, that stinks.
That stinks.
That's mouldy, isn't it? Yeah. But there's a lot now, I think. My daughter loves halloumi, and halloumi is a thing which we kind of like often eat, and that's become a good staple replacement for, because I know vegetarians, vegans, it's always hard.
It's hard
to find some replacement for the other thing, and unless you go, oh look, it's chicken but it's not chicken, then what do people eat? Just find something else and make it, because hummus, halloumi, my daughter loves all of that kind of stuff, do you know what I mean?
But tofu gets bad press in the UK because British people don't know how to cook with it.
Yeah. But I think it's
really hard to get flavour into it.
Yeah, because you go, oh, what is it, beans or tofu, or is it? What is that replacement for the meat? You know what I mean?
But tofu is so like versatile because the way that it is made, I think here is more made in a cheese manner.
Yeah.
But in Asia and in certain Asian American like facilities, they make it the original way that they were taught from like even hundreds of years ago.
Right.
So I can't really exactly tell you what they do, but
it's a big process, isn't it?
It's a very, very big process.
I follow a Chinese guy on Instagram.
Oh, is it?
And shows you how to make tofu, and it takes ages to make tofu.
So there's like loads of prepping.
It's got a proper big food cultural footprint. It's a really big deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get firm, you get soft, you get silky, you get egg tofu, you get stinky tofu, you get bean curd, and you get like all these different forms of the soybean. And then you can also get soy milk out of it, like real soy milk and not just like diluted starch and whatsoever. It's a long variety, and how you cook it too, fry it, saute it, grill it, and they know how to market it now better here, where they're like, oh, treat it like, a halloumi almost, just saute it, grill it, air fryer, whatever. But there's a lot more skill that can be done to elevate tofu.
Yeah, it's not something that's been on a menu list in the house, or tofu.
No, I've tried a couple of times.
Halloumi always is, but yeah.
I've been successful a couple of times, but I've come at one business that I love their tofu. You come across Copper Rice Box.
Oh, yes.
So Adam and Lisa.
Yes.
They do great tofu. And it got me back into tofu because I was thinking, right, okay, I can deal with that. I can at least try, and I haven't tried it yet. I've not tried to improve my cooking of tofu, not once, right?
Try ours.
But I did try it and go, I'm going to try that at home. Then I haven't, but I will.
Yeah.
Stinky tofu though, can you get it here in Newcastle? I want to try it.
You can make it.
Do you not want to try it?
Sounds like someone's name, doesn't it?
Stinky tofu.
It's like, it's so scary when it comes out. It just looks furry, like like a furry like puffball toy that maybe you've seen like before with your kids, where they're like pink, orange, whatever. But this one's just white, and it looks like furry brie almost, and it's just all like laid out onto a like almost like a steamer basket, and they just cover it, keep it in like a cool-ish damp place, but like makes it grow. And then you can fry it, you can like, I don't know, bake it, everything. Cook it, saute it with some veggies, and it's just stinky tofu.
There must be somebody in Chinatown doing stinky tofu.
No, they don't.
Nobody.
It's quite like, it's quite westernized in taste over there. The most, I mean, even they do a lot of like Asian trends too. So malatang has recently entered the market here. It's that big hot pot with like really spicy Sichuan peppers. But you can also go for like a bone broth that is not spicy at all, because I can't really handle spice, so I go for that. But it's more of like the gentrified, popular stuff that is happening there. Bubble tea, you've got roast duck, you've got all those classic stuff. It's rare that you'll find something really obscure going on. Even with our own menu, like we're doing sandwiches, but with like Taiwanese chicken and stuff.
Sandwich.
Yes.
We're going to come on to that.
You've had the spicy chicken one. Yeah, but even then, it's a lot of... People say it's bastardization of, a certain culture's cuisine, but in my opinion, I don't think so. I think it's just a different way to achieve certain ingredients, flavor palettes, and whatsoever.
I agree. I've come full circle.
Yeah.
Because going back to when I had a restaurant, I was quite a purist about food culture, so or the preservation of a food culture. So, we try and promote what would be a heritage dish of the Northeast. We talk about stuff like that all the time, but it's not representative of society anymore.
No.
So you've got cultures coming together and all these fault lines and influences, and you could talk about any dish that might be common to people. I was talking to somebody the other day about the whole history of Vindaloo, right?
Yeah.
And the Portuguese, and nothing is pure. Everything is
but everything's
built upon cultural crossover.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I think it's really exciting, and I'm so happy. Like when I came across you guys, I was really happy to see that because it felt playful.
It
also, you know what I mean?
It was a person raised in one place, brought up and raised on a culture, and then food and all this knowledge, and then you go to another place and then you do that there, and then somebody goes, "Oh, that's nice, that's interesting."
I'm going to have a Korean fried chicken sandwich. You've got to put some cheese on. Yeah, I'm just going to try it. You know what I mean?
But playing around. That's how you figure these things out. Playing around. It's the same as tofu. You go, hang on, if I live in a damp room under the ground for 15 days, I might be all right. It might be better. We might find another way. It's just happenstance.
Try and make some in here.
So yeah, what's that?
Tofu.
Yeah.
In the back room there. Yeah.
We do it really light. A lot of Asian cuisines, they like it something soft or light. Texture is very sensitive throughout Asia. So I would say it's very texture based in terms of let's say Thai cuisine. You need a balance between sweet, sour, salty, but you also need that crunch for the papaya salad, let's say.
Yeah.
And in Chinese cuisine as well, if it's something just straight cheese and just cheese, they're like, oh gosh, this is a bit much for me.
Too much
they
of one
need
thing.
complication, texture, really plays into it.
I'm on board with that though, definitely. As soon as you said texture, I went straight to pork scratchings.
Yeah.
Don't talk about
pork scratchings.
Pork scratchings.
Yeah. It's just that because what's the crunchiest thing? Because you like going right. Some people only like soft things. Some people only like kind of mushy and all that kind of stuff. I think you have to have everything. I think a perfect plate has to have a balance of flavours, but also textures as well.
Yeah.
I think it's the most important thing because that crunch in there just elevates it. Again, we were talking about ice today, weren't we, before we came in, right? My daughter, ice cubes.
You were talking about ice.
We're talking about ice, right?
As a subject.
Yeah, right. So... ice cubes ice cubes and got ice cubes. My daughter, ice cubes and everything, and I'm like, I'd never think about putting an ice cube in a drink. And then I was like, I used to have it as a kid, but now I'm like, it's not really something I'm doing. I put ice in a glass of water and I just elevated it tenfold. I was like, this makes the water much nicer. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to make it
By
worse.
just being cold and putting ice in it. And I thought, why am I not doing this more? Just putting ice in.
Did you regret your life decisions?
No,
on that,
you know why? Because
point?
I did a shoot and I bought there was these huge ice cubes and then the round ones. So we did them to put in a whiskey glass and make it look nice. So I kept them and I was like, I would put them in the freezer. My favourite thing, giant ice cubes. You just put one in a pint glass. You don't need to faff on.
You can get ice stones now, you know.
I know, but it's the faff on. I don't like little faffy things. One ice cube, bang, done. I'm there.
It's going to take your tooth out that one.
But it's not. No, it's fine. It's good.
It's for the aesthetics. It's for the aesthetics.
But it's just, I found the right size ice cube, the less faffy, and it's elevated me glass of water now. So
I think there was actually a huge debate over which ice is the best. So in the States we have crushed ice as well.
Yeah.
I think you guys have it here, but
that's
I
for
rarely
restaurants.
see it.
That's
yeah. And they'll put it in their drinks, or you've got granitas, which are almost shaved ice style. Yeah. And then in Taiwan and Korea, oh my gosh, they shaved ice, right?
Yeah.
Think of that, but think of it as actually milky and creamy like ice cream, but shredded in a way where it becomes like a soft serve, but it's still icy. Right. So it's that's the kind of shaved ice that I had growing up as well, which is just it's like snow. They call it snow at that point. You get snow ice instead. So ice has actually so many different levels of the texture it can bring.
Actually, I'm going to give you some kudos now for bringing ice up because that was really interesting.
Okay. honestly think I'm absolutely mental, right? And I'm waffling about notes, and I do have a point, and it's a conversation point. We can move on with it. We can roll with it. We're going to talk about slushes. I'm going to talk about.
Oh, I like a slush.
Right, you go to America. Every single hotel, there's an ice machine.
Oh yeah, it's very
Why
classic.
Isn't that?
It's not a European thing.
I think they should. For me, we should have water fountains everywhere.
We used to.
We have that.
I should be able to top up everything. Yeah, but
we used to have water fountains all the time.
Don't. There's no way you got to,
you can't trust
for
the
a glass of
public with
water.
it.
Well, no, because in the northeast people used to like urinate in them and that and all kinds of stuff.
But you press a button, the water comes out. That's all you want. It's coming from a.
But did you have some when you were growing up?
In the schools, did you guys have
We
them?
used to have water fountains in heaven, yeah.
I didn't drink water till I was about 30 years old. It wasn't a thing.
the same.
We didn't. It had to have flavour in it.
Yeah.
And at school,
Beer.
all the kids now, they've got like a water thing.
Yeah, I've got
your
mine.
daughter's got this massive thing with a straw, like this, it's
Stanley
like a
cup.
5 litre Stanley cup.
When we grew up, like,
You didn't drink water. You didn't drink. You had a drink at the morning before you left the house, and you had a drink at night when you got in, and maybe a can of pop.
Like, Dan, do you want a glass of water?
Yeah.
What type is it? Is it Robinson's?
Orange water or black currant water.
Black currant water.
Yeah. Oh, we're not doing black currant. That's too expensive. You get orange. That's it.
You go to a friend's house, you get a glass of water, but there's something wrong with your water here, It's got no flavour.
No flavour. Straight from the tap.
Oh, and then soda streams. But,
No, I did. Yeah. I had the same upbringing. Drinking water was like a punishment.
What's that?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. My wife, she drank water. It was like water with food. And here when I started, I was like, what's this like?
I was like, it's a bit posh, that rain, isn't it?
Have you got any diluted? I had to have the diluted juice. Honestly, didn't start drinking water. I was like 33 when I started getting fit. That's when I started drinking water. Now that's all I drink. I don't drink anything else because I'm like I can smell the sugar from a mile away.
Water becomes crisp.
Me gammon in it.
Yeah, Deb. My God, Mum, the whole family's drinking water around the table. What do I do?
Now they're drinking salmon, eating salmon and drinking water. I'd never even had I'd never had salmon.
Salmon.
I'd never had salmon until I went.
Salmon was like a big. Yeah.
Went on my wife, girlfriend at the time's house. Yeah,
I know.
I'd never had salmon.
You'd get time to time we get tinned salmon.
Whitefish.
A bit of tinned salmon was all right.
We're talking about potted peas. Potted salmon. You get potted salmon.
We used to get that. We'd never get like salmon, but we've got the potted stuff.
I talked about this the other day. Potted salmon and beef. I was always a potted beef, and I said to her, she's like, I was like, I used to put it on toast.
You call it patty or pate?
Well, we call it patty, but that was beef. That was beef paste. Pate.
We called it pate.
Pate.
We didn't take any notice of the inflection of the e or anything like that.
I know,
it's
but
not like patty.
I know, but you were raised with a pot, and it was called paste. It wasn't patty. It was called paste.
Shippums.
Yeah, and you just think you've dropped an S.
You still get it. You still get it now.
Yeah.
Chicken, salmon, beef.
Yeah.
Ham and chicken.
Ham and chicken.
The French will make it sound fancy. Go pâté.
Pâté. Yeah. Absolutely.
Chocolate plastic.
You want to come round by for a baguette and some pate.
Got some pate. Got some beef pate.
I actually really like it in Vietnamese cuisine, especially because
Okay.
they do a liver one.
Doesn't a Ban Mai have a
that's
patty
the
on it
best
as well,
stuff.
doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. So in it, like think of it like
Ban
a
Mai,
Subway
Vietnamese
sandwich, right?
Vietnamese something.
A Vietnamese
with
like
French
baguette.
history.
Yes, absolutely.
This is another.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Fusion. There
We
you go.
love it.
Fusion food.
Okay.
Well, that's why you can never
So-
actually genuinely call something authentic.
Yeah.
Because of how much globalization has occurred over the last hundreds and even thousands of years.
Yeah.
So to call a banh mi, like, a Vietnamese banh mi,
that's it.
like
Sorry.
completely like Vietnamese, it's not. It's got so much French influence
Okay.
from the baguette.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
Ban
the
Mi,
one you
isn't it?
use.
Not Mai, like I've just said.
Banh mi, yeah. I actually learned how to say this because I did a few videos.
Try it. That's what I do.
Pate.
Oh
Ban
my
Mai.
goodness. It's okay. We say it the Northeast way. Majority way.
I was just testing you all to see if you were.
Yeah, I was like, my friends make fun of me for like trying to attempt the Vietnamese accent on it because I try and be like as real as it gets. So like I was in my toilet really while doing this reel because I was trying to make an edit and I was trying to be like represent this business like as like wholly as I could. And I was like, bun me and bun me, and I just kept like rapping in the toilet, and my like roommate was like, can I please use the toilet, like get out.
Yeah, this is the
I can
office,
hear
leave
you.
me alone.
Yes. this is my place. And so like it's bun me.
Yeah, so you've not tried one before? No. So you remember the guys who came up to
Salmon or
Brockbushes?
Yeah. Yes.
The street food van that was outside.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
All right, beautiful.
I think there's one. Yes, I just had theirs at a market I was at recently.
Yeah.
They do it really good,
Yeah,
but
they
they do fusion so that you, it's like almost like meatballs or a po' boy, like
hash browns.
Yeah, they do hash browns. You won't
Yeah.
see that in a normal Vietnamese banh mi like cart. Yeah.
I like it kind of, you kind of combining things and making things up. I think kids do that a lot. They go, I'll try that with that. Because I've talked about me little boy like dipped fries in a milkshake. Do you know what I mean?
That's normal now.
But I'm like, I would never have dreamt of doing it because the sweet and it's that kind of.
Have you tried it?
Two different things.
I can't marry them up in my head.
I can't marry them up in my head.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah, I couldn't even have pineapple on pizza, so I'm out.
Oh, nah.
You know? So.
Are you guys against sweet and savory, or
No,
is
I'm
it?
not. I thought I was, but I am with pizza.
Oh yeah.
I don't like pineapple on pizza.
It depends on what it is, because I've talked about croissants as well.
Yeah.
Bacon and cheese croissant.
What do you
Beautiful.
mean,
but
chocolate
then you can
pasties?
have chocolate in it. Chocolate pasty, yeah. And then you can have a chocolate. So there's a pan of chocolate, which is. So I think that's quite versatile in a way, isn't it? But I don't know, there's just something about pineapple. It's that juice. You're getting something juicy and fruity on. I just don't think
What about hot honey? Hot honey?
Phoebe, do you not just take a moment
Sorry.
to appreciate
Honey.
a northeastern accent saying juicy and fruity?
Juicy and fruity.
Juicy and fruity.
Juicy and fruity.
That's your stage name.
Just waiting until I start talking about films. Yeah.
Films. That's the one that was
Film.
so confusing
Yeah.
to me.
Film.
It's like,
Film.
oh, did you watch the new film? And I was like,
Right. Watch what?
excuse me? What's a film?
It's like also, yeah. Do you want to go to the pictures? What's the pictures? The cinema?
Oh, it only became cinema about 10 years ago. My language was always pictures.
Those are pictures, yeah.
Oh,
But
really?
the pictures,
yeah,
I
the
haven't heard
pictures.
that one.
It's a picture house. That's what it was called back in the day. But it's just all it is how you've been raised and what you're around and how people speak. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all anything is, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
you know, apologies
Sorry, but I can hear it's juicy and fruity.
Juicy and fruity. And film. Do you want some juicy and fruity watching your film?
Is that our budget version of Ant and Dec?
It is, juicy and fruity.
Oh my gosh. It
Sorry.
did take me a while to get used to the Geordie accent
Did
for
it?
sure.
Sorry.
I think like there was a couple of words that I couldn't wrap my head around. But now I actually use them quite often whenever I visit the States.
Yeah.
So when I go back, they're like, Phoebe, you sound so British. And I'm like, no, I don't, because this is very American.
Well,
I can't get away from it. But I'll say words like queue instead of a line.
Right,
bin
okay.
instead of trash.
Yeah.
And
Bin.
those things really do
I mean,
count
it's
when
more
you're
efficient.
speaking.
It's shorter than trash, isn't
It
it?
is quicker. It's way quicker. I love it. That's the thing here.
Yeah, but my kids as well, because of YouTube, they're going, oh, well, you know, like elevator, it's a lift, man.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like escalator.
Oh, my daughter will often
Well, it's-
use American versions of
Yeah.
words,
Yeah.
and I always correct her.
Yeah, I always correct it as well, you know. Yeah,
It's media,
And then,
yeah.
and then he calls you bro. You're like, what are you talking about?
It's like when you've got kids who say process rather than process.
Or dude.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I taught my mom how to say dude.
I mean, I say that now.
Yeah.
I say that too. I know. It's like, yeah. It's so cringe. It's
It is a bit cringe, yeah.
But it's cringy. It was cringy,
Cringy when we were kids, yeah.
that's cringy, that. It's cringe.
It,
Makes
like,
no sense.
Everything's been
Cringe.
shortened.
Everyone's been, yeah.
when you grow up with it, though, it doesn't sound like that. And then when you see American movies, as an American, you're like, oh, this is just my life. But if you see it from like an across the pond perspective, you really do suddenly hear that one whiny kid going, hey, mom, let's go play b-ball. Like you hear
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
it much differently than when you were growing up, because that's just all your neighbors.
Yeah.
But like now I hear it and I'm like, oh, it's different.
No, the thing is, we in Britain, we were raised Hollywood movies, America.
Yes.
Everything's big and lavish, and everyone's an actor. Everyone's got loads of confidence, and it's all of this kind of
Hollywood.
thing. Well, it
Yeah.
is, but then you go there and you're like, why is a 6-year-old talking better than I can? Do you know what I mean? And like they're articulate, and they do a song and a dance, and then they can kind of, and then they just take over, and you go, what's
Was
going
that LA
on?
for you?
But and then you see when they get to like 1920, and then you go spring break folk. I'm like, oh, hang on, something's kind of amiss. They're more mature when they're 5 than they are when they're about 1920. Whereas I think we're a little bit different, where
Yeah.
we've just got our head down, we're saying nothing, do you know what I mean? And then we're a bit more, whoa, you know, when we hit the 1920 age, do you know what I mean? It's a bit bizarre when you see it, you know what I mean? It's
think-
really kind of
Yeah, it
strange,
is.
but just because we're raised with it, this is Hollywood, this is another world, and
Oh,
you
I remember.
aspire to be
Yeah.
that, and then you go there, you go, oh, that's amazing.
Well,
this,
I've
you know?
got American family, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they used to come. So it was my grandmother's sister married a guy from Trinidad, and then they moved to, I'm trying to get this right, they moved to Miami when we were kids, so when I was probably about 8 years old. But they'd still, I mean, get this, they'd still come back to heaven for holiday.
Why? you think yourself, why?
Heaven holiday.
Heaven holiday
camp. Right.
Hang on, there's too much sun, it's too nice. We need a bit of rain, bit of grey.
Just to balance
sunny
it
in the
out.
80s.
Was it really?
So they come back. But I remember being starstruck. They used to come home.
you
And they seemed far more exotic than anybody else that I knew.
Yeah,
they'd come, they'd bring gifts and that, and the accent and that. It's suntan and everything. We'd be like, God, guys.
They would open a conversation first.
Yeah,
it was so great. Whereas we were sitting there.
They didn't eat all the pate.
The
Pate. Don't take out the pate. Keep it in.
Have you had a Kit Kat before?
It is totally.
It is
how you
completely
exoticize people just because they come from somewhere different.
I know.
It's mad.
Yeah, it is. It's mad. Cultures though, isn't it?
So sorry, I've got to because we're going to lose track.
Yes.
So we met face to face only about 3 weeks. Was it about 3 weeks ago? A month ago?
A month ago, I would say, yeah.
So British Street Food Awards. Was it May? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
British Street Food Awards. It was mental. Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah.
In terms of your experience.
I want to talk about how it started. 4 o'clock in the morning, apparently, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go
that's sort of when it started. We actually had the 2 days before as well, where we were trading as normal as a trader would, kind of popping up. But Sunday was the big deal, where like every judge comes in, tries your food, People's Choice Awards throughout the days, to see who's gonna take home the winning, trophy, and there was like us who were like, okay, there's this one night out we really wanted to go to, but it lands on the Saturday night and we got like a champion thing that we got to do tomorrow. Looked at my business partner Hindley and we were like, I'll do it if you do it. I'll do it, I'll go. And so we were like, okay, we'll party responsibly, get home at 1 a.m., gives us enough time in the morning to wake up and get to, to fire station. Yeah. And next thing you know, it's like 4 a.m. the birds are chirping and you're like, okay, we're so screwed here. But okay, we'll shut our eyes for like 1 second. So he went to his room and I went to mine and we were like, okay, cool, we'll wake up and we'll go. And we had our big box of cookies and showed up, and then it was windy that day. We're like, okay, this is going to be a bit of a rough one, but, we'll hold on, because I've been in windy situations.
Windy.
Yeah, I was in Winnipeg, which is prairie, before when I was doing produce trading, and the winds are pretty insane, like, pretty bad. Tornado winds, almost.
Really?
Yes, because that's where the plains are.
Yeah.
So that's the tornado alley, almost. But I was thinking,
see, even the names are cool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tornado
Alley.
Yeah. We don't get tornadoes.
I think you guys do.
Yeah. No, we don't. We just get torrential rain. It's like miserable kind of fine rain.
I like halfway between it being exciting.
It's halfway. It's almost with just enough grayness to be miserable all the time.
Barely there, and then that's it. Yeah. But the northern wind actually does pick up really strong here, and I can hear it howling since the past 5 years through my doors and hallways. But I didn't expect Sunderland to be that windy. And so I was like, okay, we've got the weights, we've got this and that, we're good. And we showed up, and then there's a little gate that separates us from getting into our gazebo and then where we were unloading. So I was still unloading. Hindley's gone through the gate. He's holding the cookies. I just get to the gate and I'm stuck behind it waiting for someone to open it for me, and I watch our gazebo just start flying, just like lifting.
Really?
And then Hindley's holding the cookies. He's not about to drop our prized possessions. Yeah. And so he's just watching it too. And it's, you guys, this gazebo's flying. And we're like, yeah, we can't do anything about it.
I've got the cookies.
He was like, he's got the cookies. He was just like, he kind of turned around like, can we just go? And I was just there like holding onto the gate like, I need to get in here. Yeah. And so that's how it started. That's how the day started. And everyone just ran in. They were like, they grabbed each tent leg. They, kind of picked up all of our items. Our tank fryer, we've got 2 tabletop fryers for our fried chicken and for our fried tofu. And so that collapsed. That spilled oil everywhere, and oil is the hardest thing to clean.
The one thing you don't want to have.
It's a nightmare. Yeah.
It is insane. And I was like, we were looking at it, and I've got my tablecloths that were all clean, now all soaked in oil, our napkins, our gloves, and I was just like, wow. In my head, I was like, right, we can either brave this or we can call it a day. The last 2 days were good, trade, go home. It's not that rough. And then Hinley was already like in his head prior to this. He was like, because sometimes you run into scams with some market like organizers or like these fake like, you know, venues or whatsoever. And they'll trick you into paying a deposit first and then say, sorry, no event or something like that.
We've got a big problem with that on social media.
Really?
Yeah. So on our Jesmond Food Market, on our local hero stuff and Jesmond Food Market socials, there is always people tagging our posts saying, we've still got pictures available, please get in touch.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple of traders have followed it through and try to make bookings.
Oh my gosh.
It happens. Yeah, I've seen it before. Like non-events, people publicising events that aren't actually happening. Taking
people
pitch
do
fees.
Do that. They take advantage, and they take advantage of any giveaways you do as a business as well. Make fake accounts. They're really quick with it as well. But yeah, so like with this kind of situation, like Hinley already a bit traumatized sometimes by a few markets we did. He was like, look, we didn't even need to do this one anyways. It could just go. And I was like, you know what? Like all these people that came around to help, the least you can do is, you know, appreciate that and take it in and do your best with it. So he was like, what are we going to do? And then the whole venue staff, they brought in their huge kegs, tied down our gazebo. There was no way that was going to move after that. And then all the other traders were like, you can use our kitchen space. You can use our PPE, our gloves, everything, and anything you guys need, we're here. And I was like borderline getting tear up. I was like, you guys don't need to do that. Like nothing you guys needed. Like we didn't ask for it.
But you said it in your first sentence earlier. Community. You get involved in these trading communities and everybody really pulls together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's like the best part about these is people come into these competitions thinking everyone's the enemy. Like sometimes there's that concept. But also like there was an underlying, I'm here to make friends too. I'm here to understand how other people do things so that I can maybe do it better. I'm also here to have a good time because just like you said, if it's a sunny Sunday and no one comes up, it's like a day out. It's, you know, sit in that circle, have a little therapy session of, oh, my business done this bad, my business done this good. Learn from each other. It's like people don't have as much time now to actually sit down and physically get together and ground together. I'm not talking about like a yoga retreat. I'm talking about people just talking. People don't do that as much anymore, especially with our phones in our hands, ready to have everything at 15 seconds, even a text message. I've actually started to ask my friends, can we send letters to each other? Because that feels like it's more intent to me. Obviously, if it's an emergency, message me. But by letters, you know where I am too. I'm not afraid to share my address with you. Perfect. Let's send each other letters.
How
do
nice.
A little analog stuff.
It's nice.
But
I think we're heading that way, by the way.
I do hope so. I mean, I've read there's this big scare that, you know, the digital world is suddenly going to go and, you know, got to prepare for it, get your emergency flashlights and whatsoever. But I would say, like, using it to the max, just like how we did with our day there. Use it to the max. And we won. We won alongside Safasol. They won People's Choice and we won Judge's Choice. And basically how that worked was you show up with your food, describe it well, tell them, and then they get to decide based on palate preferences sometimes. Certain, you could actually probably better explain that.
You had a really tough panel as well, though, because you had lots of well-known people from the region. So there was Cy King, there was Terry Laybourne from 21, there was Sean and Cal from Restaurant Pine, obviously a Michelin star restaurant, and you had Adam Riley as well, who's obviously came through that world of street food into Riley's Fish Shack. So it was on kind of how you told the story, how authentic your produce was and your product, how well it was presented. It was the flavour and the texture and whether it all added up. And you guys just stood out like a sore thumb. And I had not tried your food before. And I know you'd been in contact with us before about markets and things like that. So it was the first time for me. And we were all blown away.
That's really good to hear.
There was a few expletives, I think, actually.
Now you're drooling. You're like, I need to try this.
A couple of the judges were like, oh, that's brilliant, that, wasn't it? Yeah. And it blew people's minds. It was fantastic. Really, really good.
Well, I brought the award-winning cookies today, so at least you guys get to try some too.
Remind me what you served, though, the sandwich.
So we had on the menu, we brought our chicken and tofu sandwiches, and then we brought our 3 types of cookies. But on our other pop-up menus, sometimes we'll do special cookies and then a brisket sandwich as well. So I didn't bring our whole restaurant in today, pretty much, but I only brought what was our original creations. So like I said, we started out selling Taiwanese fried chicken, and that was what was in your sandwich. The the crust of it used to be just tapioca flour because that's purely how they did it with some Taiwanese joints. And so it would create that crispy yet slightly chewy edge and that super succulent soft chicken thigh. You always use dark meat. You don't even care about using you don't even care about chicken breast at the point.
Yeah, it's the boring bit.
And then there's the seasoning. There's a seasoning as well. There's white pepper. There's MSG. There's all these different seasonings that bring things all together. And so with that sandwich, actually, we had Philip Ho joined the team. He was actually a classically trained chef, and he cared a lot about balance and flavor. And I was here arguing with him, I don't like pickled onions. Get those off my sandwich. I don't want it. And then he added in there, just try it, Phoebe, just try it. Got some cabbage in there, the way that you would with a katsu sandwich as well. And then the bread, we were stuck on using shokupan actually for ages, because Japanese milk bread was on the trend in Australia, in London, in the States forever. And I was like, well, we can make it. We'll use that. And Phil was like, why don't we try focaccia? And so we were like, well, I don't know how to make focaccia. Like, you can make it. And then so he made it. We tried it, and it was insane. But the one you had is the ultimate elevated one, where we used to use laoganma, the very classic Chinese Sichuan chili crisp that they'll sell in all Chinese stores. And it's like a dry crisp. It's not like a saucy sriracha. It's like a dry crisp, and it's flavorful. It's pungent. And that one was added into our focaccia.
Right, okay.
And then it got too expensive. So we were like, well, we need to make our own. And that's what a lot of businesses do, is to compensate for prices. They'll take their time to make something. And that's what we did with our chili crisp. We brew it in a big batch for hours. And then we pop it in our focaccia, pop it in our mayo that we also whip in-house. And then it was with that Taiwanese fried chicken. Got crisp cabbage cut in there. And then that fluffy focaccia combination, insane. Pickled onions, of course, as well. It has to give that slight tangy balance, just so it's not over the top.
Yeah.
You've got to have something, and it's really crazy how pickled onions can elevate things.
I use gherkins in a lot of things because it kind of cuts through, and it just adds that kind of that kind of sharpness as well.
It's just the acid.
Well, it is, yeah. You've got that good combination. You've got something like coleslaw, and then you add a little pickle in there. Ooh, do you know what I mean? It's just got it's the flavour combinations, and then you got a spicy thing. I mean, I'm just talking about what the wraps are on Saturday night, and pretty much that. I'm like, what did I put on first? I do this, and then Levi root sauce, and then, do you know what I mean? So it's kind of, you've got your thing, but just adding one little thing in, and for me, it's like it just elevates it again.
Absolutely.
Very much so. Yeah. Just one thing and change it.
Completely. It can completely. But, did you feel, when you presented it, did you feel confident after the day you'd had as well?
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, like, I was very scared, because I was like, I roll into a lot of things with confidence usually, because I honestly am just anywhere for a good time. So it's never really scary to me.
That's a good thing to be, though, isn't it?
Like, I was taught this. Like, a lot of people actually ask me, like, oh, how are you so confident presenting? Well, you're such a storyteller. And it's because genuinely deep down, I'm just like, I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. I was out the night before. I'm a little bit hungover. Like, we're really screwed here. If we win, this is funny. But also, in deep down too, I was also like, the pride and ego in a person who makes food is like, I hope you like my food. And that's this fear that was going in.
Yeah. Well, you've got to care from the off, haven't you? But I think not thinking about it too much, that's a thing as well. And going out, then you don't have the choice to think about it too much. There's no build up. You're not sitting twiddling your thumbs for an hour going, oh, I'm stressed.
Absolutely.
You're just going straight into it and do it.
I think I may have got into trouble. It was either with Si or with Terry, because they put your sandwich to one side because they wanted to eat the rest of it.
Yeah.
Because they were getting loads. There was a lot of samples. There was a lot of food, right? Yeah. So I was just put it down.
It must be quite hard when you're sampling something, you're not enjoying it,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it was Si kept hold of yours.
Oh.
And then I handed it to the girl who was collecting all the samples in, and he was like,
"What are you doing?
Just give my sandwich back."
I was kidding.
He's like, "Get back here." Oh my gosh!
But that's the review in itself, isn't it? That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's all you want to hear. Is
it's hard though sometimes because you can't. Everyone has their own flavor palettes.
Of course,
and
yeah.
I submitted the spicy rather than not, and I was like, immediately, if someone's put off by spice, you're kind of screwed almost.
Yeah, that's why judging can be hard as well because everybody's subjective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredibly. And so like judges get the heat, the traders get the heat, the customers are just there for a good time, really. They just put their money where they feel it's worth. But also incredibly important as well is like the masses are who you're selling to, and that's why people's choice is so important as well. It's because well, they want to all have the same stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, completely. Do you know what I mean? It's like film reviews. I mean, if
what reviews? Sorry,
film,
FILM,
Chris. Yeah. So with reviews like that, if you're putting bums on seats, that's more important, really, isn't it? Because that's the whole purpose of the business in the first place.
Yes.
Is for people to go and see it and enjoy it. End of story.
Absolutely.
You know? Not like people, the tweezer men picking at it and that.
Yeah.
Lifting that. Hang on, that's that.
Still a great name for a band.
The tweezer men.
Yeah.
Good,
we had someone on a while ago called Bev from North Chocolates, a well-known brand up here.
Yeah.
And she used to be a restaurant critic, so that was a job. She used to write for the Metro paper.
Yes.
And she just came up with this thing. She's not really a tweezer man sort of girl, which is basically
like where you do the microwaves,
the violet and things on with tweezers.
Tweezer men. That's a great name for a band.
Men, wow, that is good. That is actually good.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So what's next for you guys then? What's the plans?
Well, so we're probably, this is like a new intel almost, but we've been actually whispering it to our customers as well. We might be moving out of Oosburn in mid-August. So if you want to try your sandwiches, get them now. I'm kidding. But we're going to be focusing a little bit more on pop-ups. So more market pop-ups, being in person, showing up to people, and focusing on our back end of things because we're trying to, well, we actually have to gear up for London for the semifinals because we made the cut and, now we're going to London. But the logistics of that is a bit like, well, you have to find a prep kitchen there or whatsoever. And part of me is a little bit confident, like, well, if you win, you have to go to Munich. And what are you going to do? Drive your little van over there? Because we started out with a Toyota Yaris doing everything. We have we drove the Toyota Yaris to the event actually, and we used to just stuff our big gazebo like diagonally, sit 2 people in there, and like stuff it max because we were like, we're gonna go low budget as possible because with business, I think my business partner is the one who actually ingrained this in my head where it's like you don't have to try not to spend $1 million to make a pound because you don't have to. If you can make that pound into $1 million. It's entirely different of what you are capable of doing from a ground up level. Versus if you start from really high up, it's easier to fall really rock bottom and then just make yourself feel really defeated there. So we really started rock bottom. We started cooking from the house, got it registered food hygiene wise, which is possible. And then, just made sure all your procedures is what as a restaurant would, as you would expect with a 5-star hygiene rating. And then go from there. So, invest in a car, a van? No, not yet. Go with the Toyota Yaris until it really cannot run anymore. We've had 4 tires changed at this point. And we're thinking, right, like if this goes on, right, for another year or 2 and you have to change all 4 tires, it adds up to a van at some point. So, okay, now we can spend on the van. Let's spend on it. And so there's that. But prior to that, we were at pop-ups and there's, let's say, I think it was like Acropolis with their huge like van. And I was like, we were in our Toyota Yaris next to them, like, don't look.
But that's the point. It's taken them 7-8 years to get to that point.
It does,
it's leveling up.
They started on Quayside.
They started on the Quayside. They were at Jasper Market. They took a long time.
They're 2 brothers,
Yeah.
But even then, you're investing a lot of money into the next thing, and then the other things, and then premises, and then all of a sudden you're like, we need to keep this up because we've got to pay all of this out all of the time. Do you know what I mean? So there's a pressure. Doesn't matter what level it is. There's always going to be that pressure, But you look at the most successful street food vendors in the Northeast anyway. The ones that have stood the test of time are the ones that have done it slowly, like that. So Acropolis, Geordie Bangers, and like their simplicity. Keep doing
sausage on a stick.
Yeah,
it's a sausage on a stick, but they keep on doing it, and they keep on scaling up really gradually. But then I've worked with other businesses who kind of did it the other way,
Yeah.
Where they wanted the van and they wanted 3 setups and they wanted this, that, and they wanted to be everything just right. And it can go pop very quickly because all they need is one big event to be cancelled, or it's quite a treacherous landscape anyway. So
it really is.
Like whether it's bad weather or whatever can cancel an event, and they've got no recourse to get that money back.
No. Actually, there's one thing I often say when people ask me, like, what do you do about a really quiet market, is I treat it as a physical advertisement.
Yeah.
You have to, because if you can't sell something, you can't treat it as, it's a profit, kind of day. It's, okay, you're there, you're showing up, people are seeing you. Use your mouth, use your hands, use anything to get people to notice who you are, because that's how they'll start to care. That's how they will start to actually, kind of see what you're doing. Otherwise, if you can expect people to just come because you've got a viral product, or just show up because other people say it's good, well, how about the millions of other businesses around that are also the same, almost as you, in the same boat, but doing just that little bit more than you, or having that positive outlook a little more than you? They survive longer. Yeah. They do.
Yeah, they do.
You've got to go through the downs.
But it's about consistency.
It really is.
And what I see from a lot of the businesses that we've worked with over the years, it's no good and that's why we're quite strict about how we run the markets, I guess, because you can come to an event once and it might be really poor or it might be quiet for whatever reason, right? Students could have gone home, or it might be cold, or whatever it is. But it's never going to work if you just come to that same event 3 times across the year. You've got to be there the next week and the next week. Because each week you might get an extra 3 customers. It might not sound like a lot, but it's building that community around your business.
It really is.
And it takes loads of time. It can't be measured on one event. I always say to people, speak to me at the end of the year and tell me whether this has been a success.
That's really
not at the end of this market. Because it all levels out. You might get one where you sell out within 2 hours. You might have one where you're taking stock home. You can only really, from a business point of view, take a snapshot of that if you look back over a year and think, well, how did that work out for us? Not just one event. It's hard.
But it's based on economy as well, because what's happening in the world at the time.
Absolutely,
and what happens when your products, all of that, your suppliers put the money up, and do you know what I mean? And it's like, where's your profit? Oh God, we've got to sell this for more than what we should, and there's always a pressure. It never ends. It's just, what's the problem we have to solve today? That's all it is, isn't it?
Of course it is.
From a business pop-up, or even like a food business perspective, it's really easy to not tell the difference between a shiny object syndrome and ability to pivot.
I use that all the time, shiny object syndrome, because it really does. But it works, so it is shiny object syndrome,
really
and that's all it is.
It is.
So
sometimes it's as simple as creating a new flavor of a cookie, when you know that the amount of extra resources it takes to create that is just not worth it in that moment. Because if people like the solid 3 that you have, let's say, keep going at it until more people have seen it. And then that's kind of like the way we go. It's very easy for me to fall into this shiny object syndrome, because I'm always like, Henley, this thing came up. Oh, what if we did this?
Well, it's a what if.
Well, it's food trends, and shall we grab onto that, because it's really popular at the
moment. And coming from a background of LA, that's where a lot of the foodie influencers really got popular through. You got the rainbow grilled cheese, you got Wagyu ramen burgers, you've got all these crazy ideas, and then you've got churros and ice cream that's kind of like this really gorgeous Coachella style, picturesque thing. It's very media based as well. When people buy, people look before they eat with their eyes. And Australia as well, a lot of that hype comes up, but hype has to be either matched with investment, or it has to have been happening in the background for 10 years. And I often forget that sometimes, and I get into big arguments with my business partner. And the best part is he keeps that reminder on, and then the final goal is, we're trying to make this work. And that's what makes sure things still are working, even behind the scenes.
But it's back to the running analogy. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is. It really is.
Sometimes a relay.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like.
Sometimes
you gotta chop, chop.
Yeah, sometimes the egg and spoon race.
Yeah, but that's in between the marathon, isn't it? So I mean, you've got to keep doing all of the things. So should we jump to the menu as well?
Oh yes,
the menu.
So
I didn't know.
Did you not know about the menu?
All right, okay then, Phoebe. So if you pick anything from here, we're going to do the Greg's order last because we have to.
Okay.
We have to.
We don't have to, but we will. Do we want to? Why
I'm
are we so
really
rigid
easy.
about that?
I don't know.
Just pick what you want.
Pick what I want. No judgment.
No judgment.
No
judgment.
judgment.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
We're still trying to get a cheeky Greg sponsor, but they're not biting.
Come on, man. I know.
Greg's
Okay.
22
The
episodes.
lads need 8. Come on, man. Put some food on the table, Greg's. Come on.
I love it. Right, so I'm starting with starters, is it?
You don't have to. You can start anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Pick. It's a topic.
It's like
of your
us.
choice.
Doesn't matter where you are. You go anywhere.
What's a ketchup?
Oh, ketchup.
What's a ketchup?
All right, okay. If you say it quickly, it gets mistaken for ketchup, but it's not. Ketchup. Ketchup is sweet shop. Because when we were kids, northern thing, we used to call them kets. So, sweet
that
shop.
was dangerous.
So, in your world, the candy shop. So, what's your thing? Candy shop? Were you a big candy girl when you were growing up? And did you have a local one which you went to? Was there any of that in your vicinity in Elia?
I can't imagine what a candy shop would have looked like in the States in the early noughties compared to here. Because we've got like a view, haven't we, of what a sweet shop is.
See's Candies. See's Candies.
See's Candies, no?
It's the chocolate. It's a chocolate company.
Okay.
We had a lot of chocolate bonbon companies.
All
so
right.
like Godiva, you've got these chocolatiers. Basically, it's almost like there's this one chocolate shop maker. It's like Hotel Chocolat.
Right, okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
We had a lot of those, actually. Either some mom and pop ones, like See's Candies, I think came from that. And it was like, since the 1900s, they had a lot of those. And they would also sometimes have like candy shops at like these fairs and whatsoever. But that's the most I remember, like arcades.
Do you remember, maybe you're too young, I don't know, but do you remember Jolly Ranchers?
Jolly Ranchers, yeah. I grew up on those.
Well, so we would have perceived them as kets.
Oh.
Sweet, because they were sweets, or boiled sweets.
Yeah, they were like boiled sweets,
weren't
kets
they?
is like a kind of
they
single
like,
individuals.
You guys have like pear drops and everything, is it?
Pear drops,
things like
rhubarb
that.
and custard.
Yes.
Like
we didn't have
traditional hard
those
sweets.
flavors, though. Yeah, we had similar.
Because you mentioned bonbons.
Bonbons.
Bonbons
So you're
as well.
thinking about bonbons as like
The
strawberry
chewy
ones now.
But yeah, toffee. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's got almost like a dusting coating on the top.
Those
and
were
then,
always called French by us.
Okay.
Like they were
French?
they were French bonbons.
French bonbons,
They were called
okay.
French bonbons, and like for me, growing up, like
Bonbon.
I actually learned French for 7 years. Je suis pas, what is it? Je parle français.
I was just going to try and say something back and I realised I couldn't. I was digging deep into the GCSE level C that I got.
Un jambon omelette.
Un jambon.
Avec
chocolat.
Avec fromage, s'il vous plaît.
Avec fromage.
Avec fromage.
Avec fromage.
Come on, s'il vous plaît.
That's a rolling joke. That's the only thing I can order in French.
Oh my gosh.
I've done it before.
It's because we all learned from the same textbooks.
We did.
Yes.
Tricolor. Yeah.
Tricolor, yeah.
Tricolor, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but so the local sweet shop. So your thing as a kid, were you a sweet treat girl or more of a savoury girl? What were you into?
I think because my parents, this is something that I don't know if more people relate to or less people relate to there, but my parents were always like, we have food at home. Or they would always, if we went out, we would go to the Asian spots. So it was always the same restaurants that we would go to, the same pho place, the same grocery store, the same, that was my whole childhood growing up. Because like, there's these micro communities in the States where it's like, if you're Vietnamese, you're in Vietnamese, like you're in Little Saigon.
Yeah.
And if you're Korean, you're in Koreatown, or you're in a specific area of South Carolina. Whoa, we're going way too far out. You're in a specific place in Southern California that is primarily Korean as well.
Okay.
So for me, I was in a primarily Chinese community. And so even a church I went to was purely Chinese. A like grocery store I went to was 99 Ranch Market, Chinese.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was about like 10 years old where my mom, because she did import-export business, she actually had these sit-down dinners with clients from all around the world. And that's where I was exposed to Hungarian, I was exposed to Japanese food, and then that's where my like varieties started happening. But the sweet shops for me growing up was these old Chinese dried herbal stores.
All right.
Right.
And there was sweet stuff in there. It was really fun.
Yeah.
You get these fruit candies that are like almost like what can I think of? It's got like granulated sugar crystals on the outside, but it's a grapefruit jelly
like a
on
jelly.
the inside.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like a Turkish delight.
No, they're like fruit. Like chewy. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like a fruit pastel.
Like a pastel, but they're not as
like a
they're not as
pastel,
chewy as a fruit pastel. Though.
Oh, like a fruit
Not
like
as
a soft
chewy.
jelly.
It's soft jelly, and
Yeah,
it's
you can
all
get them
sugar
now.
crystals on
Okay.
the outside too.
Yes, you can still
I'm
get them in
trying to
those
think of
tins, the
one.
travel tins.
Think of like Tang Fastics, but
yeah.
not chewy.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they were like,
I love them.
Yeah, they were softer.
They're more like
yeah.
gummy.
Do they get stuck in your teeth quite
They
a bit?
do a little
they
bit.
do.
Yeah, so you kind of just like, yeah, but it's
they're
a good
nice.
flavor. Yeah,
Yeah, they're lovely flavors.
So I had like grapefruit, I had pineapple, I had, what else was there? There was one herbal one that was like a grass jelly one, and that's basically like a Chinese mint plant or an Asian mint plant.
Yeah.
That is quite like scary black kind of color, but it was really herbal and healthy. So my parents were like, it's good for you. That's the only candy you can eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then only when my mom had clients that she was trying to give gifts to, like corporate gifts, we would go to Godiva. That's a Belgian chocolate
Yes.
like brand. And I would like, go in there, and they know my mom because she buys boxes of these like, corporate gifts for all her clients. And then I'm like, they're like, oh, sweetie, do you want a free little chocolate of choice? It's a little truffle. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
of course I do.
yes, that was the Western, I guess, kind of candy that I would get.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be your cat candy. It's a chocolate still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting though, because it's a complete different world that
It is.
But then you
that
arrived
we
at a
were
point that
raised
I
in.
recognise with the fruit jellies, because we used to get fruit jellies.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
because I mentioned Turkish delight because that's the only thing that I could think of
No,
with
they're
that
not
texture
that
as
texture.
well.
Almost like
And-
a Turkish delight
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
almost.
Texture-wise,
Yeah.
yeah, but Turkish delight's awful. I don't know why anybody wants to eat that.
I like it now. I
It's
didn't like it when I was a kid.
Because it's like eating like it's like having a mouthful of Parma violets. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's got that perfumey. And what I mentioned before,
Look at it.
yeah, that's
Very rarely do you piss me off on
know
this
what?
podcast, right?
You know what? And it's got that single cough after that. Hasn't it? 'Cause it's got
I'm going to call that.
Perfume.
That's I'm going to call.
Dior,
Yeah.
Gucci.
I'm going to call that. It's your sort of allergy to exotic tastes.
Yeah.
Why do you
Just
not
one
like Turkish
cough.
delight? What any brand?
I've tried it. No.
Have you actually had proper Turkish delight or
Yeah.
the Greek version, the kumye, which is without chocolate on the outside? It's
Well,
just like rose flavoured jelly.
The Greek version of everything is
Yeah, I have.
insane.
I have tried it. Yeah, because
Do you cough after that one?
It's a little. it's a little better than the one than Fry's Turkish delight.
You need some cough sweets for that, you know.
I need some cough sweets. Yeah.
I liked cough sweets growing up.
Yes.
We had this brand called Halls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Halls. Yeah.
Do you know what I used to do with Halls?
Halls are quite mellow.
I
aren't
might have
they?
mentioned this before. I had this lovely habit going back to the olden days when we used to get milk in schools, right? In the little glass bottles, remember?
I know you've said this before. You're an absolute psycho.
Glass bottles.
Black currant, not
You've
cherry
just gone
flavoured.
right.
Cherry
right,
flavoured
hang on,
Halls
Hang on.
or tunes, right?
This.
Cherry
Go on.
flavoured Halls or tunes cough sweets with full fat milk, and just keep the cough sweet in your mouth and drink the milk, and let that flavour infuse with the milk. Is gorgeous.
And he's just
Like a
given me
cherry
a
milk.
you've given me a hard time on Turkish delight.
Yeah,
Are you
exactly.
mental?
What's wrong with that?
Halls
Minty
and milk.
cherry milk.
No.
I like mint chocolate chip.
I like
mint chocolate chip
as
is the king of ice creams, isn't it? Mint chocolate chip. Same as lamb is the king of
But
mates.
I can't imagine
Mint
that
chocolate chip is the
cherry
king of-
in there. Just I
But
like
mentally though, menthol milk. If
There's
you put
there's
the two
brand,
words
that's
together,
it.
menthol
I'm cancelling
milk.
this podcast. I'm going to
Yeah.
start that up. Menthol milk.
Yeah, it should be,
Menthol
be as
milk.
popular as Turkish delight.
new line.
I love Turkish delight.
Yeah.
Love it.
You do.
Not keen on the fries one, mind.
I've never had that one, so I can't say. But Greek anything is so much better. I like Greek olive oil the best.
Yes.
Hands down. I have anything
it's
else.
amazing.
When you go authentic, it's always a game changer, isn't it? When you do that completely.
Feta cheese, I love it. Just got to be careful when you go to the supermarkets now and it says Greek style cheese. It means it's not feta.
No.
You're gonna tell your story about the supermarket the other day.
Which one was
when
it?
you left your goat's cheese in. This is a good one. This Alice, you're gonna like this one.
I just finished. What was it again? I just finished running Jesmond Food Market, and it'd been terrible because it was raining really badly.
It was.
It was a busy day, and then the rain came, and it just everybody gone. And I'd been soaked. I'd dried. I was soaked again. I was on my bike.
Oh.
So I was cycling home, and I'm gonna get some cheese for tonight. It's usually a sort of like our party tea night on a Saturday, right after the market.
Yeah.
So and I didn't get any cheese because the cheesemonger wasn't there. So I was driving home, and I went past the co-op, and like it was potentially the most middle class thing I've ever done in my life. So went in, I bought a range of cheeses, some goat's cheese, and the co-op that I go to it's it's in quite a rough area, right? So I'd put my bike outside, and already the red flags are up, right? Bike with panniers on the back and that, like a commuter bike, like a Pontus bike, like. So I locked it up, went in the shop, bought all this stuff, and I walked out, and right, there's loads of Java kids like sort of chucking cans around and outside the shop, and I was getting on my bike, and the guy went, "Yeah, mate, is this your goat cheese, like?" I was like, "Oh man,
keep it down, man. Keep it down."
I was like, "Oh, man, come on, man." I was like, "You don't tell people.
Keep it down. I can't get big."
Could have been a bit more discreet about it. You could have just said, "Are these your cheese slices?"
It's your goat's cheese.
I rang Dan straight away. Dan, I couldn't believe what just happened to me. Like,
it was an instant. I've got to tell this story. That was fantastic. I was like,
"Yeah, mate, is this your goat cheese, like?" Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You just wanted to get home.
Yeah. I say, "Keep your goat's cheese. It's not mine."
Just peddling away.
It's not mine. It's not mine.
I should have turned it on him, went, "Keep your goat's cheese, you." Honestly.
Who are you talking to?
Who are you talking to? Goat's cheese? It's like swearing in my house.
All the gang of young'uns just turn at you. Goat's cheese.
Goat's cheese, huh? Yeah. Right.
Who's this like? Oh, wait, go on, rob him. That's what's next. That's what's on the list, isn't it? So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, let's pick another one
next
off the menu. Another one, please.
All right.
I forgot about that.
I didn't.
Crisps.
Crisps.
Ooh.
Are you
We
a
call
crisp?
them chips. Back
Chips.
home.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got different vernacular.
Yeah.
Chips.
Chips.
So, what were your
Got a bit of a wordsmith going on today.
What were your favourite chips when you were a girl? Crisps for the people at home.
For me, it was always the hot Cheetos.
Ooh, all right.
Cheetos.
Hot Cheetos.
Right.
We had a lot of Mexican influence
Aren't
in our
Cheetos
crisps.
like what's-its? They aren't they? They're
No.
Cheetos not like-
No, Cheetos are like
Alright.
knickknacks.
Sorry, you don't need to get...
What
Are
are
they?
knickknacks and
can I
what's-
can I
Cheetos like
confirm?
knickknacks, are they?
I think so. I think they do both, though.
Don't,
They sell them in Costco now.
Because
thanks.
you
That
know
was a very diplomatic response.
because right. So let's break this down. The cheesy puffs that you would get in America
Yeah.
were just light, and they were just like
Light
wound
and
up to shit.
fluffy.
Look like polystyrene stuffing that you put in a box, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what a cheesy
Peanuts,
puff
yeah.
is, but they were a bit more gnarly, a bit more kind of crunchy.
They're a
The
bit more
Cheeto,
gnarly.
isn't it?
They're
Yeah.
deflated puffs, basically.
Yeah.
They're more of the solid ones. The puffs
Another
are
bad
actually
one.
like the ones that are actually, I think, puffed up.
Yeah.
So these are like, I could actually pull
Hard
up a
and
picture
gnarly,
if it helps.
like they're all different shapes and stuff like that.
They're gnarly.
Yeah.
They look like twigs off a
Yeah.
tree branch.
That's it. So in this country, we didn't have those. We had knick-knacks, and knick-knacks were that.
I still like
Really?
knickknacks.
Yeah,
Like
and it had that crunch. We were like, they were cheesy. They had cheesy ones, which
Yeah.
are fantastic,
hot
right?
and spicy.
And
Still get
hot
them.
and spicy, and there's
Yeah,
a
spicy
barbecue
ones,
as well.
yeah.
So there's like a barbecue kind of flavour ones.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a maroony bag, wasn't it? So yeah,
You still get a
But,
share bag
yeah.
of hot and spicy from my corner shop.
Oh my
So yeah,
God.
so
quid.
the what's it ain't a knick-knack. So yeah, that's. But the
The
Cheetos,
what's it- what?
What's it ain't a knick-knack? Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get you, because you're like, it's not the same thing. What's it ain't a
What's
knick-knack?
it? It's round, isn't it?
Well, what's it's like it's
I was more about the texture.
like
Loops.
that.
I'm
shape.
talking about loops. Sorry.
loops, yeah.
Yeah.
Loops.
But yeah. And we're going on something else now.
Oh, wait.
aren't we? Oh,
What are
onion
loops?
rings.
onion rings.
Oh, we had those. We called them Funyuns.
Funyuns, yeah. Funyuns,
yeah.
onion rings.
They're really fun.
Yeah. Because in America,
bad.
in America, your Walkers are like, what, they're Layers?
Lays.
Layers. Yeah, that's the kind
Had a lot of Lays growing up.
They're Lays in China. They're Lays in India.
Was it Walkers? Yeah. Walkers and Lays are the same thing, I think. It's just that I think they had a different brand.
Yeah, just a chip in it.
Kind of
well, the thing is, you didn't get that bag. You always got that bag.
Yeah.
So every time I went to America, it's like everything's massive, you know. And we only got those when the Doritos came over, right? And then kettle chips.
Yeah.
Kettle chips were introduced.
Oh, really? I thought they were always here. But
No. I remember a time when they weren't a thing. They didn't exist. Yeah.
That must have been a game changer.
Pre and post Dorito,
before kettle chips.
Yeah. If you wanted Doritos, you had to go to Chiquitos to get them in a dip.
Chiquitos. Have them take away.
Wow.
To get your Doritos, you got to go to Chico. Get your Chiquitos.
Try and say that. Come on, man.
I tried. It didn't work. It did not work.
We have something we grew up with too, where it's like sometimes you'll run out of dip for your chip, but if you got too much chip for your dip, then you have to open another dip.
But would you double dip your chip?
Right, can we try and say that again? All together.
Oh gosh, it was from this YouTube video I grew up on.
What did you say?
It was like, you have too much chip for your dip. You'll have to open another dip.
Have to open another dip.
But if you open that another dip, you got to open another chip.
But would you double dip your chip?
He's just adding that.
Do you double dip?
Sorry, I went to a different rhyming place there.
Do you double dip?
I double dip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You double dip?
Yeah.
Because that dip is mine. It's not anyone else's.
Yeah.
And a fry, are you single fried dip ketchup in, or how are you having your fries?
Oh, I used to be particular. I used to do one end and then do the other end and then.
All right, so it's kind of like it's almost like Star Wars when he's got the double
the lightsabers.
I used to do like sort of extension of the human hand.
It's like a Darth Maul. Maul lightsaber.
It's red on both ends. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm not that refined. I just get a whole wedge.
Mouse kind of lightsaber. Yeah.
But 6 chips in one hand.
Just my little girl's like, she'll do that dip. She could do like 4 of one fry.
Yeah,
she's like,
hard.
but she goes through some ketchup. I'm like, you gotta curtail the ketchup.
We used to have like ketchup
you like that one she's eating. Like, come on.
I'm watching that. Yeah. Oh, she'll graze. She takes her time.
Does she drink the sauce ever? Does she ever go for it? She's a saucy person.
She's partial to the old little finger, and she'll just kind of went to Nando's, a little spicy when you get with like a tomato spicy sort of salsa thing that you get with the halloumi.
Yeah.
Oh, she'll get the old little finger if there's anything left. Now it's leaving that plate. Now it's left on that plate. She's taking it all.
Wow.
Takes no
clean plate.
Clean plate. Yeah. Have you? Talking about clean plates, have you ever licked a plate clean?
Yeah.
Baby? You have?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No hesitation at all.
You were straight in there.
Absolutely. I went to actually etiquette school when I was a kid because my mom was convinced that since we were in LA, I'm going to be, amongst people that are in Hollywood. Yeah. So she put me through etiquette school. Like, mind you, like, she crawled out of a jungle, basically. Yeah. And she, like... she's the last person that... Someone's like, yeah, she really did. She really did. And then this is like a rural village out of southern China. She crawled out of it, basically.
Like evolution of man, isn't it?
And she was like, yeah, Phoebe, you're going to go to etiquette school. And I was like... 3 years old, 4 years old, and we were taught to not eat the plate clean because it is considered I guess lower class, they would say. But they didn't say that to a 5-year-old. They just said it's not the proper way to do it.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like taught to basically like, my dad didn't really care. He just thought, get her to A to B and get her to the school and that's it, And then so that day we were supposed to bring in some like food, some lunch for ourselves so that we can work through the forks, the knives, the spoons, everything, the placement of the table. Mind you, we were like 4 or 5 years old, right? And in my head, I was like, I forgot to tell my parents that I needed to bring this for homework tomorrow and bring some food. So in the car, I had this like one pastry that's a pineapple pastry. It's a Taiwanese, kind of like a shortcake, I would say. And I only had that. And I brought it to the class, and everyone had a little steak, a little sandwich, a side of crisps or something, Some kid even brought soup. Like these were kids like who were like, parents knew what was going on. I just told my dad. I didn't want to embarrass my dad or anything. I just went, like, we can just bring in a pastry. And then so we worked through the whole setup. It was starters first, right? And so with starters, you have to do soup meze. And so they taught us how to do soup. So we had a bowl out there, gave us a spoon.
That's away, isn't it?
Away.
Yeah,
it's
out.
I was like, why is it going away from me?
You want the food coming in.
I know, exactly. So I kept doing it this way because
Yeah.
I was like, that's the right way to do it in my head. And the teacher would hold my hand and go, nope, that way, go that way.
Yeah.
And so, clean plate-wise, we were not allowed to lick the plates clean. It was considered unruly.
Yeah.
And forks-wise, outside in, forks and knives, really. And then there's a dessert fork, there's a salad fork, there's the main fork, there's a charger for the plate, which is the plate underneath the plate that you're going to use, or more plates will get placed on top of that. And it was just like, for a 4-year-old, I was just like, this is stacking up real high. And I was there with my pineapple pastry, and just like, you're supposed to bring many different foods to try and like sort it out. And you're not allowed to share in case of allergens or anything. And so I was just there cutting through, okay, it's soup time. So I'm scooping my pineapple away from me.
Oh, bless you.
And then it came the mains, and it was like, right, cut it with a knife and fork. So I was cutting my pastry with a knife and fork, and I was
Shooting
like,
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a shortbread.
One item, 4 meals.
honestly, it was a pineapple pastry and 4 meals. And they were like,
How do I do this? That should have been you should have been the test for the whole class. I think you've done the best thing because you've problem solving all the time.
Exactly,
Live
one
problem
solves
solving.
all. Honestly, I was just put through that class, and then they were like, I think one of the teachers felt bad, and they're like, does anyone here want to share some of their food with Phoebe? And everyone looked at mine and looked at theirs. They're like, we're good. We're good. So I just worked through that pastry, went home. My dad asked me, oh, how was it? Kind of asked me, kind of didn't. He didn't really care. And he was just like, oh, like, good time? I was like, yeah, good time. That's it. Like, I carried that etiquette with me all my life, but I still lick the plate.
Yeah.
I think it's, like, he's actually the one that taught me every grain of rice, think of it as a drop of sweat that someone's worked for it.
Yeah.
You're harvesting rice is intense.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was taught. But the etiquette school taught me otherwise. So it's this big imbalance that I grew up with.
It's a huge gap, isn't it? I mean,
massive
that's
gap,
my
yeah.
time.
I never told my parents about
when
this.
I've eaten and I've been to Chengdu. I've been to Shanghai. I've been to Beijing.
Yeah.
And when I've been into any restaurant, any street food place, and people are eating like soup dumplings and that, it's in, and it's
burps,
drinks, burps, everything. Yeah. I mean, even formal corporate meals were like that, where you'd sit down, you'd have baijiu, right?
My dad taught me how to drink that one.
Drinking baijiu, which is crazy.
It's like that
And
tall.
you've got to know how to drink if you're drinking baijiu, because it's lethal,
It's gasoline.
right? And then you'd eat really quickly, then everyone just get up and leave, and it was the meal done
Yeah.
in about 45 minutes, the whole
Yeah.
thing. But there was none of the etiquette. It's interesting how the fusing of two worlds is trying to escape one or move towards the other.
I'm more on the grain of rice thought myself. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
Somebody's worked hard to eat that thing. It's like I've said before.
Absolutely.
If one of the kids leaves like the most expensive thing on the plate, like a little bit of salmon, I'm like, you're not. That's got to be eaten. You have to eat it.
Yeah.
You know?
My mom grew up with the more Western mindset because she read so many books, and she very much so glorified USA and UK. So if it was either of these countries, she was trying to end herself up, and that was her mindset growing up, because that's where the opportunity was. For my dad, he kind of grew up with a quite decent background as a kid, with his parents both in military, I think, or one of them at least. And so he had a lot of like a little bit more of a lavish background growing up.
Yeah.
And then when he came to the States, though, he was a bit like, okay, gotta make myself self-made in a way. But he didn't have that like posh kind of etiquette thing that he wanted everyone to go by. That was more so my mom. And so like she wanted for me what she didn't have growing up that she thought was necessary to fit in and survive. Versus for my dad, it was like, look, if you're not going to finish that grain of rice, you're not leaving the table. It's as simple as it gets. And it took a lot to get here. But also for him, if I didn't finish my plate, he'd just eat it for me as well.
Yeah.
He made sure that if I didn't do something, he had my back for it too. And so that was like kind of like my lucky growing up background, where like I knew the things to do And then also I was taught certain things, and I kind of just created my own fusion.
Yeah.
Which allows me to lick the plate.
Yeah.
I think you just got to be presented with both and take a little bit of one and the other. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
you can't be like just shoveling it in your face sitting at the table. There's got to be a certain level of etiquette. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, you don't want to go overboard.
No.
By being a bit too snooty about it.
Well, is it?
Yeah.
I don't want to be too highbrow, but there's a bit of a philosophical lesson in all that, isn't there, though? Like, you've talked about food in that way. You've talked about how your dad and his values that he's brought to the table, they're bigger than just that one message.
Yeah.
It's about how you approach life, I suppose.
No,
it's very opposite at the dinner table, because my parents oppose each other often. Yeah. They were like, oh, you need to finish your plate on your food. And my mom's like, she doesn't have to if she's full.
Yeah.
Don't force her. And he's like, no, she needs to know that she can't be getting more than she's getting.
Yeah.
She has to finish what she gets, and don't waste. And my mom's like, yeah, but she's full. You're instigating a very bad behavior into, eating disorders and whatsoever. Okay. She couldn't really say it was a disorder because she didn't have the vocabulary, but she did very strongly oppose him. So growing up, I had this they work together well still, but it was a strong disparity of I knew that there's very different values growing up and very different perspectives to things, and for you to find that own balance is way up to you.
I was going to say, do you find that you are the end product of those clashes in many ways, aren't you?
Yeah. My mom, I think she aspires to be a bit more posh sometimes because she feels a little more aesthetic. She feels more elegant, classy, whatsoever. And for my dad, it was very simple. He just wanted to finish his lorry driving. I would hop on there, and he bought an annual membership to Disney. So around 3 years old, I went to Disney every afternoon. But it worked out cheaper. Yeah. It really did in that time. Because when I was 3 years old, it was 2004? Yeah. So in 2004, that's when it was decent price still. And then if Disney wasn't the case, we just went straight to the beach, fished, got the seafood so that we wouldn't have to buy it at the market at market value price. And then my mom gets to eat seafood, the one that she wants. Yeah. So it worked out really, really well.
Incredible.
I never went to Hawaii or any crazy vacations like your cousins probably did, all the way across the pond or so. Well, all of my neighborhood friends, because their parents were engineers for Boeing, let's say, or whatsoever, they had all these I went to China, I brought back the souvenir, I have an I Heart Hong Kong t-shirt. I just went to the beach with my dad.
Yeah.
That's lovely. That was a really gorgeous thing for a kid growing up. And then when it hit teenage years, my mom's values that she had for her, let's say, brand value bags and whatsoever, it gave me a little bit of so this is the society and how it views things. And that was a really good example for me, I think, growing up, I would say. And it keeps me in check, really. Keeps me humble as well. Because,
I like seeing both sides. I think you should see both sides. But you can have different viewpoints, but still be together. Yeah. And I think that's a good testament to your parents, I think.
Yeah.
But that's what everything should be.
It should be.
Sometimes it's hard for people.
I'm starting to feel we're going to trivialise that entire segment of the podcast by saying, what's your Greg's order?
What's my Greg's order?
What's your Greg's order?
It has to be the classic sausage roll.
Yes.
I love it. I buy the packs of 4 that they come in as well. Not as often as I used to, really. But
I thought you were going to say not as often as I should.
No, I should. I love it. I love it with all my heart. I think there was a Greg's really near to Tesco's in Gateshead.
Yes, there was.
There? Yeah. I don't know if
Greg's
it's
everywhere. There's a Greg's everywhere.
They're insane, and they're
you probably opened the door. There'll be one outside in the courtyard.
Honestly, they'll probably have a lot more PR events that'll allow them to pop up everywhere more. So
when was your first Greg's then? Because you're coming from America. When was the first Greg's?
Oh, when was it?
And what was it?
If it was the Northeast, it would be part of the healthy buffet with the football trainers.
It was, I think it was genuinely with the football academy. I genuinely think it was. Because they told us we needed a Greg's if we were going to the Northeast. And literally we just all saw the 4-packs. And that's how I started buying 4-packs, because there was so many of us. And it's Phoebe, just buy one of the 4 and we'll split the 4.
Yeah.
And that's how it ended up happening.
Yeah.
And I would buy an extra one for myself, stick it in my bag, and then we'll share that 4, and then I have 4 more in the back for myself.
It puts a different slant, that doesn't, on a 4-pack. You can just imagine 4 sausage rolls, a carry-out of beer, a 4-pack or a 6-pack.
Yeah, it's you hold it, and it's just Greg's sausage rolls. Yeah, I love it.
But the 4-packs aren't hot though, are they?
No, they're not.
Go. So the hot sausage roll and the cold sausage roll are two different things. What's your preference? Because I'm definitely a hot. Everything has to be hot.
I don't mind it cold.
You don't
I
mind?
eat cold pizza. I eat anything.
Do you eat cold pizza? Yeah, like next day pizza.
You're talking about someone who comes back home at 4 a.m. sometimes and just needs a quick pick me up.
Can you not? Are you like do you have to prep the life out of it and like heat it back up
prep
again?
Prep the life out of it.
Like, I'm like you. I'll be like, no, just right now. I just need to have
extra
that.
microgreens.
Yeah. Well, like some things are good and some things are better in a reheat. I do think a curry is better in a reheat as well because it's had time to congeal and just kind of get all the flavours in there. But pizza, it doesn't reheat well. We've done it many a time, like back in the day, teenager drunk. Doesn't work.
It's a whole science behind that.
But it's like a pasty as well and sausage roll. If you reheat and microwave it, there's a bit of stodge to it.
It's kind of just
sausage
roll.
It dies a bit.
Ketchup on the end's quite nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not to say I haven't done it. I've been to a million British buffets in my life. Do you know what I mean? And to say a beige, so yeah, I've eaten everything. Aye, hot and cold, isn't it? It's that thing.
That's got you on one now, isn't it?
Well, it's because you go, Greg's, and then the 4-pack. I'm like, I wouldn't buy that. It would have to be hot. I'm looking forward to the best it can be with that product.
It's the difference between the pocket meat thing, like you're going to eat the sausage roll there and then
on the wheel.
I'm taking 4 sausage rolls home.
Yeah, you're taking it home is a different story, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've mentioned this before. As kids, you weren't allowed to eat it on the street. You had to wait until you got home.
Oh, yeah.
There's something a bit depressing about putting a pasty on a plate.
It's hand food.
It's hand food. Yeah.
You mean it, but you still
with my you slide it out the bag. You slide it out onto a plate.
It's really sad.
Yeah, it's lost the heat. It's lost the.
You'd always think, my parents mustn't be doing very well at the minute.
Yeah.
They slide the pasty out on the plate.
Slide it. You just upend and just slides out onto the plate. Then you put a bit of ketchup on the sides. It's not the same when you're eating it over a plate, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
Different thing.
You gotta walk and eat it almost sometimes. Like, you're like a busy corporate girly. You kind of walk.
It's like a bag of chips and newspapers, like different on a plate, isn't it? It's got a different thing to it. Like a burger and then,
I mean, there's an air fryer now instead of the microwave.
Yeah.
To make it not soggy. So you get a nice crisp.
Yeah. All the young'uns are using air fryers.
I never had an air fryer growing up.
No, we haven't got one. I've resisted it. Only because I keep on thinking that kind of... I worry, right, about unskilling my kids.
Is that the new George Foreman, isn't it?
It is a new Foreman.
Yeah, right.
Like, honestly, my mum, anybody in my family, have you tried that on the George? I think me auntie used to
call
the
George Foreman.
Cheese
toasty on the George Foreman.
Yeah, used to call it George Formby. I'm like, it's not George Formby. He's a musician.
Yeah.
It's George Foreman, the boxer.
Yeah.
And she still calls it, whatever it is.
I know, but why would a boxer have a grill? Right. It's just as confusing as a musician has one.
I've resisted it because my kids, and particularly my daughter, loves to cook, and I worry that it'll stop that a little bit.
Yeah.
But everybody says everything's better in an air fryer. But it's just everyone has a Ninja air fryer, and honestly, at a certain age, that's the thing on the list to buy. It's a shark hoover in an air fryer.
I think like with an air fryer, it's like, for me, it's so convenient, but also like it's not very, like you said, it's not very like skillful. You just go beep beep beep, and then you're done. And versus like, you want to know the temperature of an oven and whatsoever. Like you want to, use the broiler. Do you guys ever have broilers? Or
not really. No,
not really. It might have been more American then.
Yeah.
It was the bottom of the big oven that you would have under your stove, and then that would be the heat, the residual heat from the oven on the top, and then an extra wire on the bottom that would let you have a broiler. So we did it with our lasagna, mac and cheese. If you had a casserole dish, anything on top gets a shepherd's pie, let's say.
Yeah.
Crisp it at the top. That's what the broiler does.
Yeah.
And a broiler was something I grew up reading in all of the books I had growing up. And that's something that I don't think anyone really knows anymore.
No, when we grew up, we had remember those strange ovens that we used to have? That were like 2-tier and the grill was at the top.
Yeah.
Do you remember them?
My mum still got one. Huh?
Has she?
Yeah, it doesn't work, like,
So you had the oven, hob, and then this
top.
extension at the top where it was the grill.
Is it?
Yeah. It's actually much more
like the
functional when you think about it now.
And then proper, like it was all in one.
Yeah.
Oh, they were old school then, weren't they? But yeah,
a lot of things are book commercial now for you to buy in the masses, just like TV. Yeah. It won't be as functional as something probably back in a certain age would be.
It's like turn on hot rings and stuff like that, isn't it? That's Pan of milk on the hot ring.
Oh man, what a
that's your latte.
Totally, it was frothy coffee.
You had like you boiled water on the kettle, not on the kettle, like with the
boiling milk for like milky coffee.
Straight,
you boiled it straight on the on a
with the one that starts squealing really loudly. And it gets like, okay, that's the time. Run to the kitchen, take it off.
We used to have the whistle on the kettle.
Yeah, I grew up with that one.
Good. Well, Phoebe, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been awesome.
Thank you.